she's accustomed to. So she's kind of done and dirty and real gritted. She sees this glint in there, and the moment she sees that glint, she wonders, like she recalls that dream that she just had, or that sense from her goddess that she just had. It's a little out in the open, so she's a little unsure, but she kind of keeps herself low and goes out and she's gonna dig at the dirt around it to pull it up if she can.
Well, and to your surprise, it's now I sent you a picture of this thing.
Yeah,
and
it's a weird ass gold owl.
It's this marvelous bronze and copper, and you can see gold, intricate mechanism thing. About a life size as an owl would be, so not very big, but that big. And it's upside down in the sand, and its metallic wings are kind of splayed out. It's not moving, and it has a face with these big eyes, and the central little spots, if you look at the picture, are glittering gems or something.
When I see it, do I feel, wow, it looks super cool. When I see it, do I feel any sense from my goddess or anything, or no?
So you pick it up then, and you're like,
before I pick it up, so you'll have to bear with me because this is a good learning session for me, so that I don't have to ask questions like this when we go in. And like I said, before we go in, I'm going to make sure I have all my spells memorized and whatnot. It'll take a little time for that. But in looking at this, there's also for spell casting, there's spell casting described the way we talked about, but there's also what sounds like this version of D&D's when you have something, I can't remember what it's called now, but so what it says is when turns are being tracked using minutes, so when it's not like in battle and things are quickly happening, a spellcaster can spend an action to attempt to cast a spell or prayer by reading it from the book or scroll, so it doesn't need to be memorized. To do so, they must make an attribute test, adding the spells or prayers level to the roll, and if they succeed, it is cast, and if they fail, it misfires, and the player should roll on the magical side effects table.
Yeah, dangerous move. That's a kind of a desperation move in some cases.
Okay, so that's not like the way it works in D&D where there's certain spells.
No, this one, you're taking the power out of the book and just.
Okay, so I'm getting the magic. It's not like for this situation. Okay, it's a last effort only. I have to try and get the spell out. So the magical side effects table is not a good thing. Okay, so
it has some stuff, like, just to warn you, I think one of them is a large mouth appears on your stomach.
Oh my god.
Now that's a bit of a one that's out there a bit, but just to warn you, there's other ones that are beneficial.
Okay, well, in this case, I'm not gonna. I was going to use that to cast a spell I don't have memorized.
That's a real fun table, by the way, for the DM. It's amazing. It's like a die 100, so there's a whole bunch of them. Some of them are pretty benign, like your hair grows an inch a minute until you remove a curse. Like.
So yeah, it's definitely hit or miss. Okay, I can't remember how many I'm supposed to be able to have memorized, if it's 2 or 3. So I'm just gonna put 3 up right now, and I'll figure it out.
So you're level 2. You have 2, and you can have any level.
Okay.
So you can have 2 second level ones. You just have to pick 2 though for the day.
Okay. And I think they said everyone's at level 3, so I'll be a level behind. Will that be okay? Is there a big gap?
Oh yeah, this game is dangerous, and the fate, yeah.
Okay, but all right. So I'm not casting detect magic. Actually, I don't even have that on my spell list. I have to make sure I get that sorted. So okay, yeah, I'm gonna do it. I reach in and I pull on whatever this is.
And you pull it out, but you notice the eyes. That picture is misleading I sent you because I misled you, actually, because the eyes seem to be just an empty socket in both the orbs.
Okay. Like it's just black, nothing's in it?
Yeah, and you feel it tingling in your ears.
In my ears, okay.
Or on your ears, because I'm assuming your player has earrings?
Has earrings?
Yeah, she probably would have earrings, perhaps, or
Yeah,
no.
I'm pretty sure because yeah, because she's wearing that ridiculous jeweled thing that's in her picture, so she's got to be wearing earrings.
Uh, well, you feel yeah, a little tingling when you're coming your earlobes or your wherever the earrings happen to be pierced. Top could be I don't know what they call different parts, but wherever it might be.
Are my
And
earrings jewels?
yes, some of them are, some aren't. Definitely some are jeweled.
Well, I know my goddess, I said she'll send me signs, so I take this artifact and I look around and I'm looking for anywhere that it looks like I can hide. Like if there's a bit of underbrush beside a log, I can dig out a little bit
Okay,
because
it's too late because I'm gonna get you to actually you hear them. You hear a boat, like a small. Now this I'm gonna change a little bit of backstory because it dawned on me that perhaps you would have been traveling with these pirates voluntarily or even
that's originally what I was going to do. Before I was like,
and
oh, I'm already so complicated. I don't want to
you
introduce she's
tricked
friendly
them or
with
pissed them
pirates, but
off.
I love that because she, like I said, my background, part of my background it gave me was that oh, what's the word for it? I smuggle items, basically.
Oh
That I'm
wow.
a trader of smuggled items with the background. So I was gonna.
Yeah,
That's why that's one of the jobs she does for Hecate. She goes back and forth and brings artifacts or this or that, secret things, messages back and forth. So I was gonna have her originally be on the pirate ship, and they turned on her for some reason or something of the like. That who knows. So go on. Yeah, you can spitball off of that. Whatever you were thinking. That's good
yeah.
for me.
And you double crossed them even. We could picture it. You had some trick where you were gonna, or they double crossed you actually. For the moment, I'll let you work on that for your backstory if you want. Like
Yeah.
for when you want to level up, that could be. That's what I mean in this game. That's what you do. Is it's up to you why you were with. If that you choose to be, that's your character. Like
No,
your
I
character,
like that. Yeah.
I'm a smuggler and a corsair pirate to me slash, but I'm also a scholar
Yeah,
and
well, it's more so they have a deal with the pirates, but she'll have spent quite a bit of fair time with them, and then yeah, something like that. They eventually turned on her and stole what she was bringing with their boat or something of that
okay,
nature.
that's
Yeah.
and then they were gonna sell her perhaps, and you oh better get out of here. But you might have gotten away with something though. You kept your jewelry and stuff like that. It didn't get to the point where they were tiring you to the mast or something, right? Uh,
Yeah, it
Things
was. I
hadn't
can
turned
say even they had
nasty.
me stuck in the brig under the ship, and I managed to
Yeah,
escape because I'm awesome.
yeah, and your call and whether yeah whatever wiles you use at that time to get it done right too. You're I imagine can be pretty charming if you wish and trick men. One of their great weaknesses. Oh, my cat. I just saved your life, cat. She was sleeping and fell sideways off the table, and I caught her.
Probably would have landed on her feet.
Yeah.
Okay, so what were you gonna say? I'm
There's
here.
a
I
small
pulled
little
this
skiff.
artifact
It's
up.
it's the small boat that they keep as on the side of the boat. Like the actual pirate ship was probably about 55 feet long, 60 feet long, and pretty. And they had kind of anchored it, waiting out, and then you had slipped away for whatever means. And but you realize now, rather than chasing you on foot around and over the island, they've taken this small little skiff rowboat and sent a little detachment and come around the corner you see two guys actually they're both rowing and looking and one's pointing or one's rowing and the other one's pointing. Hey, there she is,
Like,
all right.
oh, like they spotted me. Okay.
Yeah.
How far away from me are they?
They would be about 100 feet away at this point.
100 feet away. Okay.
That would be
Do I know if they're armed with? I'm pretty sure they don't want to kill me at this point. I'm fairly certain they'd rather capture me alive if they can. So I have that confidence going in. Do I see them armed with crossbows, distance weapons?
no, and actually crossbows are actually almost non-existent. They're really exotic weapons at this point if they exist.
Do you see any long range weapons? And do I know from my time
uh,
with them, I would know if they have their own spellcasters?
no, these appear to be two ruffians that you even forget their names. They're forgettable. And these guys called themselves the Ruiners, these pirates. Oh, we're the Ruiners. We like ruin stuff. And they're talk tough.
Okay, so I need to bait them into getting closer. So I'm going to start walking towards the shore to cut distance. So if I move 30 feet this turn and they move 30 feet next turn, 60, 11, starting to get closer. So she knows like this island, it's a very small island, like, and it's not got a lot of coverage. So running from them isn't really an option here.
It is, actually. The island is bigger than I may have let on. It's fair size, like but it's just really rough and harsh.
Okay, and I
It's
know they only have the one boat, so these are the guys that they're sending.
and
Okay, so I'm going
they'll be
to,
bringing the boat in and beaching it next round. Like they'll be spending their turn rowing it in.
yeah, and I can't see the pirate ship at this point. It's somewhere else. Okay.
No.
So she tucks away, before she stands up, she tucks away the owl device. No time to consider that further. She tucks it away in her whatever pack. And she stands up and really squares her shoulders and lifts her chin in this very self-assured manner that she usually presents herself in. And she's going to stride forward her full movement, so the 30 feet, towards them and say, here I am destined to meet my fate. Any of you that step foot on this sand to take me from this land will be cursed by Hecate. Oh, well, that rhymed. Great. Will be cursed
Yeah, that worked out.
by Hecate. Turn around. Leave me here. And she just stands like
Oh,
that. And that will be.
that's cool.
And then I will cast. No, I'm going to hold out. I can hit them with a magic missile, and they know that, but I'm going to hold out in this pose of, how dare you?
Okay, you see, it was these two. You actually recall their names is Jabbo and Knack. And Jabbo and Knack are unsavory characters. They probably didn't want this job to go find the woman, uh, or perhaps they did. Uh, so you see that,
Probably.
yeah, Jabbo's the big guy. He's real big and muscular, and he's got sort of this girdle, this leather girdle around his waist, and he's got this wicked curved dagger uh, that he's always having out and picking his teeth with and stuff. He's kind of and he's rowing, and then the other guy, Knack, is more of a Weasley guy. You realize he's some sort of degenerate they picked up somewhere, and he was holding this mechanism in his hand. It was, you realize, a net, and he's got it, and he's getting it ready, and he's like, and he turns around and sees you, and his eyebrows kind of go up. You give me a charisma check at disadvantage to actually see if I find that awesome. So I'm going to give you a chance to beguile them with just your righteousness.
Oof. Oh no, wait, I have to roll under, so rolling low is good. I gotta get that in my brain.
That's right.
I definitely rolled under, whatever it was, because I rolled a 1.
Now, did you disadvantage? So you have to roll twice.
Oh, with disadvantage. Okay, sorry, I didn't hear
Yeah,
that.
because it's a
So a disadvantage means you take the higher number, right?
yeah.
Okay, then I fail, because my charisma is only 9. Or, yeah.
All right. So, but he hesitates for a minute, and he's gonna be I'm gonna make him at disadvantage for a round because he looks back, and Knack is like, or actually I had him backwards. Knack is rowing, and the Jabo, the big guy, has the net ready, and Knack's like, "What are you waiting for? Just net her. Let's get on with this." And he's like, "Oh, I don't know. She's saying weird stuff." And I'm just gonna say he's kind of stunned this round. because you roll. I gave you that one. I was like, oh, that was a crit
That's
pass. That
great
was
because that
actually,
plays into
and that
exactly what I
means
wanted to make her because she travels with unsavory. Like she's really built up protection around her as like because she's powerful and associated with the gods. So yay, it's working.
yeah, and Knack is like, oh, you're kidding me, and he's the scrawny guy. And
Right.
so the round's over. Now we forgot to roll initiative. And this game, initiative is wonderful. The DM does nothing. The players simply make a dexterity check, roll under your dexterity, and if you pass, you go before the enemy. Simple as that. If you fail, you go after the enemy. It's a wonderful system. DM just sits back and goes, okay, who passed, who fails?
Success.
And you roll every round, and once you get used to it, it's so quick, you just boop, boop, boop. So you're first, because they don't roll, they're NPCs. And that round, you kind of bedaggled them. So stuff like that works. As a DM, uh, and if with your background now being second level, I'll shut up in a moment. You can use this ability twice in a session. What you just did is you could call that as a background use. I don't know if you read that part in the rules.
No.
It's not called that exactly. I paraphrase. But what it means is your second level, so you can do it twice, and third level you can do 3 times, etc. And every session you can draw on your background, which should be built up, building to in context in the game to influence it and get advantage on a roll.
Oh,
So you would
sweet.
be one who could speak with ghosts or something. So perhaps you end up at the River Styx and you're negotiating a deal with the pilot of the River Styx. You could draw on your background, and then you have to come up with a little bit of a story and a narrative and how you interact. And the DM should kind of sit back and play the NPC as an equal. In
Oh, I
this
like that
game,
because I could then lend a little more credence because I plan to have her like if we pause here for a moment, I planned like picturing hopefully when they come to the island and see me, if it works out in the moment, she's gonna do this whole, oh, I'm so glad to see you. I foresaw that you would come, but my vision did not tell me what time. She's gonna pull that like, oh, I saw a ship coming from the horizon, like in my dreams. I knew that. She, of course, she doesn't actually see these visions, but
yeah,
maybe I could actually make that a bit of a thing. She does. I don't know. And
yeah,
then she just
yeah.
plays it up at other times when she don't actually, when she hasn't actually seen a vision. I don't know if you
Well,
want to
and
work
your
with
moment
that.
will come in the session where it's like, oh, wait a minute, this ties into my background. I'm going to
Yeah,
use, right? And then that's when you go on your little spiel, and the DM kind of goes, oh, wow, okay. And he lets you kind of take control. And then the game actually takes current turns that the DM doesn't know either. Like, I don't know what your void egg is about. I don't want to know, and I want it to be a surprise. So I don't want you to
totally.
tell me. It's your deal, and go with it as long as it's relatively in context, not too
Yeah.
gonzo. But it could be an alien. I don't know. Could be a chicken.
Oh, sweet, sweet. I didn't know I got to play that much with it. I mean, I'm not gonna go crazy, but yeah,
You
yeah.
could. The Greek mythos has all sorts of weird shit you could pull off.
If I have the option, I'd want it to hatch into something she can use as a mount, like a.
Well, say no more. Think about it. When you go to third level, you might have an opportunity in the session to say, "Hey, this is a moment where my egg. How does it hatch? Like, do I have to do some quest? Does this metal bird have to sit on it?"
Okay,
I just thought of that. I was like, "Oh, hey, wait a minute. I got my
so
egg."
these people, they didn't, he wasn't able to take an action, but they've moved forward on their turn, I assume. So
They're
are
now,
they nearby?
yeah,
They're
he's going
nearby
to throw
now.
the
Okay.
net. The big guy's kind of baffled. He gets out of the boat. Like, they're actually pretty deft. They're pretty good sailors. And the big guy jumps out of the boat, and it looks like he's going to come forward and throw the net on you.
Perfect. So they're now within nearby distance.
Yes.
So with my hands still up, I begin to curl with my fingers and create, and then I say, "You will regret stepping." Oh yeah, that was my threat. You stepped a foot onto this sand, and she throws her hands forward, and I cast web
Oh,
over
neat.
both of them and their boat.
What would that look like? I remember the DM asked
So
me to
web
describe that.
traps a nearby area, stopping movement, and lasts UD6 minutes. So I'm going
Now,
to imagine. Sorry, go ahead.
I will warn you, in the future, that'll might not work on water and stuff. Like, you have to have things
That's why I waited for them to hit land.
Oh,
And
gotcha.
even on the
Good.
water, I was just going to attach them to their boat. And so they're
That could
completely
work.
stuck. Like they can't move at all. So I imagine it as basically all these weird, sticky, gooey, purple, thin strands. Because most of my magic is this kind of that, not purple, because that's the color of royalty, but it's kind of this almost pink, deep, the same color I had in the picture is what I'm going with. And she throws her hands forward, and these strands basically just go
Wow.
Spider-Man style and just stick all over them. So they're just stuck in whatever position that they were in as they were moving, and these strands sticking from place to place and over their face and whatnot. That's how I imagine it.
And technically, you could get both of them. Now, I was taking a quick look because I would like to clarify this. I'm trying to remember. I played this game about 5 times in this other group as a wizard. And the DM told me recently that he made a mistake and you're supposed to roll to even cast the spell successfully.
Okay,
And you add for every high level of the spell, you have to add 1 to that roll. So I will warn you, casting spells isn't just like work every time. You have to make your stat move, unless I'm looking right now to see.
Yeah, I'm trying to as well. The ability.
See, once you, okay.
Yeah, I don't see that anywhere.
Huh. All right then, because if it works, it works. All right, let's play that way then, because that's the way we played it when I was playing, and I was having fun because your spells go, which is nice.
Yeah, because I figured the way they built the mechanics for that is that you have to then roll if you want to keep casting a spell, you have to roll disadvantage, and you eventually lose that spell.
But the only issue is if you do roll a 20 when you make that attribute check to keep it memorized, so you botch that, that 20 could have an effect on that table. And there's a section in this book, rule book for the DM. I'll double check that.
Sorry, if when I'm rolling the attribute check to see if I maintain the memorization, if I roll a 20, then I roll off of that.
I'll double check. That's what we were playing. But that might have been a homebrew edition. And they encourage you to homebrew.
I'm happy with whatever you want to do, just as long as I know what the potential consequence of using my spells are, because that's what I have.
Because some of them are, but the game is meant to be fun like that too. Like using magic is very powerful, but the odd time, something strange happens, shall we say. So for now, let's play with that. And if it ruins the game, I'll make a change. But it's a lot of fun.
So you can always, if it rolls and it's something horrible and doesn't make sense, you just do whatever you want. You're DM, right? So
yeah, but it also,
if it doesn't work with what's happening, you don't have to tell us.
It really throws you a curveball though, as a player. If you get challenged this, you're growing with a mouth in your stomach, you'll interpret that as something the gods have sent this.
Oh, exactly. That's why I don't, as long as I'm not being cut off at the knees, I don't mind. Like when I was playing with Josh,
into a chicken.
Yeah,
but you could be turned into a chicken, let's say. You would have to role play that. That would be interesting. Until you got that reversed or something, right?
Okay, so I cast and I stick these guys, and so now I need to roll my attribute of intelligence.
They are macroed as well.
And so the modifier would be +1 because, no, 2 because that's the level of the spell. So
oh, no way.
So that means what does that mean again? I don't have it memorized.
Oh, you rolled a 19. Oh, I was going to say if you rolled a 20, that would be the case where you'd roll on that table.
So the spell is no longer memorized.
That's
right. I can't cast the spell until I memorize it again. Yeah.
No, and just an example, you know what I mean? You came 1 away from, if you hover over your roll, over the 21.
Yeah.
It'll say 19, right?
Yeah.
That's what I check as a DM because I'm like, whoa, wait a minute.
Yeah, because I had to add the +2 because I add the level of the spell, I believe. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It has to be a nat, like 20 to crit fail.
Phew.
Gee.
Okay, so I no longer, let me mark that now on my thingy. I no longer have this memorized. Oh,
Yeah,
wait,
so you
that's
have,
the wrong one.
what was the other spell you had ready? Charm?
Magic missile.
Oh, right. That's effective.
Okay, so as soon as I cast that and reiterate my threat to them, I turn around and I start running.
That was effective, indeed. Uh, yeah, you look around, and at that moment, you see a sail a bit the other direction if you follow, like the direction you were escaping toward, and you scramble for about a few minutes, right? And you're moving, and you get up onto this little ridge, and it's scraping and scratching, and you tore your dress a bit or your robe.
Determined.
And you see these guys are down and thrashing on the beach, and the big guy he's ripping chunks, and there's hairs coming off in chunks, like they're just frustrated and they're trying to unravel
Serves them
themselves.
right.
Oh, they're stuck for a while and messed up. And he stumbles onto the shore and his legs are all tangled, and one of them's kind of yelling like, get him off, Nat, get him off. The big guy's kind of shrieking now, like a little boy. And you kind of snicker, but then you skin your knee again. You're like, ah. And then a sail.
In the distance, it's a ways off from the ship.
It's you can swim for
From
it.
the island, sorry, it's a ways off from the
Yeah,
island.
it would be a pretty good swim. You're wearing pretty colorful clothing, right? I'm assuming.
Yeah, so I'm going to, you said I'm up on a ridge, but I'm at the edge of this island near the water, so where I could be seen.
Yes, yep. And you could hide
Oh,
around a corner or something if you wished. You could take cover. It's pretty rocky and rough.
the boat, it's not the pirate ship, right? I
No,
recognized it was the
no,
pirate
no.
ship.
This one's got a white sail.
Okay, I'm gonna, so she pauses for a moment. She looks back and she knows she doesn't know how long her webs are gonna hold, especially with how badly those guys are struggling because they're right freaked out. The one guy has it over his eye and it's and she looks around. She doesn't see the pirate ship. She doesn't know how close it is. She's trying to gauge the size of the island. What's my best bet? And it occurs to her, she's thinking real quick, even if I escape and hide from the pirates, then what? Then I'm stuck here and I'm in the middle of the ocean. Who knows when another ship might cross by? This one happens to be here now when I need it most. If anything, this is a boon from my goddess. So I'm going to aim well above the ship. So even if I sneezed, I'm not going to hit the ship. And I'm going to cast magic missile, like an emergency flare, basically, to try and get the ship's attention. And then
Oh,
wave as I
wow.
pew,
That's
pew,
very smart.
pew.
Very
Um,
clever. Now make that roll.
yeah, it might fuck me though, because then if I lose the memorization on this spell, I have no spells left.
Yeah, I
Period.
know. That's what
Okay,
sucks
so
about.
all right, so magic missile, the way we do spells, it just goes, and then now quickly
Hmm.
after I
And it makes a
roll,
nice effect. Yeah, it kind of sparkles like
and it goes far, like it goes to whatever
yeah.
it is distant. It goes to the farthest distance, so it should even,
Wow.
like I'm shooting
And
it
it
around.
got their attention. I took
Yeah.
that roll success as like a beacon.
Oh, good.
And after about a few moments go by, and you're pretty close to the water. And in fact, I'm gonna assume you're a pretty darn good swimmer. All right. Let's say,
Yeah,
and
I've
you
been
can
on a
tie that into
pirate
your
ship and
background.
whatnot for a while, so that'd be
Yeah.
great. Sorry, I have to roll for, I was clicking the wrong button here. I see what happened. So input of normal modifier, it's a level 1 spell. Ugh,
What are you rolling for?
really?
What was that for? Oh, to keep the
For
spell.
whether I maintain the memory. Wow. So really you really are cut off the knees as a wizard if you fail that. I've got
And
no spells. I've got nothing.
then you hear a voice from behind you. Hold on, I got what your character's name. I got to get this right.
So I have
San.
to,
And there's only one person who called you San. And
most
you
people, if they nickname me, they call me Shallow. So for sure, Stan.
But for some
Who is
reason,
it?
this was a maybe a pet name or some pick
Yeah.
name that Erastus called you. And you turn around and there's Erastus, and he's climbed over this ridge and stuff too, and his hair is kind of a bit askew, and he's like, ah. And he was looking up at the magic missile, and he's looking at you warily. But he's got his hand at his side, and he's got a sword, a curved blade out. So, which? And he looks over and he sees the sail.
Move no closer. You know what I am capable of.
His eyes narrow. What are you thinking? And now the boat's turning. You can see it's coming toward you.
Yeah, I know it's still pretty far for a swim. Uh, Erastus, you know, I'm gonna throw this in. I'm gonna say that I'd spent some time on the pirate ship with them, both as a means to travel and because Erastus had something incredibly valuable. You're gonna help me out with whatever that is. And I basically led him on, cozied up to him, and then I got caught in trying to steal that item. An alarm went off or
Now,
whatnot, and that's how
this
this went down. So this is quite
how
personal.
does your yeah no and you know there's those lines in the games and such, but we're mature players. So if you wanted to have like an amorous sort of sway to this, like
Yeah, but she straight up like fucked him over. Like
oh yeah, and it could have been
I
all
never
part of a
actually, yeah, but
con.
she, I'll even play it where
Played the con game.
that's why she made the move and it was a little awkward because
Now,
she did it at a weird time because she was starting to fall for him a little bit, to fall for the charm. And she was like, oh, I
ooh,
gotta
I
straighten
like
up.
this.
And
And I was gonna lay off on this, to tell you the truth. I was just gonna have like at first I thought for a minute, oh, there could have been a romantic connection, and we could just. But it would. Then I thought, no, I don't want to script this. I'll let
yeah,
her
and I'm not
decide.
playing her as
Yeah.
the seductress type of sorceress
Right.
character. Like that's why she wears very conservative because she's avoiding that. She really wants this
Uh,
image of, you know, a woman to be feared and powerful. But that's why this messed with her because she thought she had the upper hand here, and then she really
ooh.
began to actually fall for
So
this
she,
super
he's
charismatic guy.
yeah, he's actually a looker, and you know he's got some of the stereotypical Eastern pirate look to him, billowy pantaloons
Yes.
and and all that. But he's like,
And
so
do not make me do
how
anything
is this for an
like that.
angle? That could be the void egg you took from him.
Yeah,
Now,
yeah, sure. Then I don't have to be carrying 3 mystery items. That's perfect.
if you follow, and then you've sent an attachment to this egg because you saw a silhouette inside of it of something, and you realized it was alive and it was special.
And because that, I'd say that's even maybe why they sent me on this ship, like using them as a
Mm.
point of travel was a front because we're investigating the void, right? In my cult. So when we found out,
What?
however, that this guy has this void egg, it was like we need that. I like that.
Okay.
All
And again,
right,
I don't want
so
to script anything for you because I like surprises, but that
no,
just
I
dawned on
love
me. I was
getting to
like,
do this with you,
I mean, we're
Darren, because
bouncing
often it
ideas
doesn't
off
even
each other
get
here right now, right? We're
yeah,
like bang,
often it
bang,
doesn't
bang,
even
bang.
get pulled into because you got to follow the main role play plot. But I love it. I love bandying with you. If
Okay.
you give an option and I don't
So
like it, I won't take it.
let's get back to the moment.
Yeah.
So, Erastus, and you know, you feel a pang in your heart, and you can see a look in his eye, like, so this is it. You want to start something new? Should I let you go?
Let us be honest. Look at the two of us. Look at who we are. Did we really think it would end any different way? We have our loyalties. Erastus, you must let me go from here.
Now, for the moment, I'm going to say that he doesn't know you have the egg.
Perfect.
Okay, like you stole it, and then he was like, "Come," and then he's like, "Let you go. I came here to fetch you to take you back to the ship. We have a
Your
destiny
men
together.
attacked me. I do
I sent
not
them to,"
feel safe on your ship anymore.
and he gets kind of puffed up. You ran, and you drew the blood of Narcissus.
Of course, he attacked first. Do you doubt my word?
I admit he has groping hands and probably deserved another scar.
Yes, And as I said, I will take my chances with the cold, dark sea rather than return to a place where I am disrespected as such. You did not protect me. Our deal is over.
And he has a hurt. You see his different emotions cross his face, and at first quickly hurt, but it's drawn over by his scarred visage. He has a scar, of course, that runs down his face and down across his cheek, and kind of draws his mouth up in what could be considered even a rustic, handsome way. He pulled it off, but now it turns him into a bit of a leer, and he goes, "So be it. I sent them to net you and bring you back. But those fools, you and your magic, you witch," he spits it out. Well, and then you see a look as his teeth snarl. "I give you last chance. You come with me, and I will make you my queen. We will raid the coasts of the Morocco, go up around the Spanish Main. Our names will be written in blood across the beaches."
She actually hesitates. That's she's pretty power hungry, and that's an alternative option of power. That's actually, if I didn't have a plot line I had to follow through, she'd actually probably do that.
Oh yeah.
I can't let her do that. That's great. Yeah, so she really hesitates. Like this is actually hurts her heart, and she has to steel her heart with the reminder of the potential and the rewards that she has under Hecate, and the allegiance that she owns to her sisterhood, to her family, to take this risk. The reason why she was here, not just for personal power, for the greater good of her beliefs. And so she straightens up a bit and says, and there's an aspect of truth to what she's going to say here too, with the type of guy he is. And she goes, "You show your true colors with that face. You would have me netted and drugged back to you like an animal, and that is your true color. You would not have me serve beside you as an equal queen. You would have me as a concubine." She goes, "Ha!" She does the action that she does when she casts magic missile that he's seen many times. I can't actually cast anything, but she's basically trying to get him to jump backwards or dodge, trying to.
Oh, that's too good. He does. He reacts like, "No," and because he's seen the effect of that devastating effect, and he does balk and stumble back and kind of onto the rocks and such, and almost drops his sword. And the moment, and you realize now the boat is coming toward you, but it's kind of turning away now. It appears that you're not sure if they've seen you. They may have seen you, but it's now turning away, and you sense now's the moment is coming soon.
Yeah, I'm going to take the chance because they turned as soon as I hit those magic missiles. So I say a prayer to Hecate to watch over her daughter. And it's right after, I don't even wait to see if my feint actually works. Right after I do, yeah!
Yeah.
I turn around and I run and I jump off the edge of the lip I'm on into the water. And I just start booking it. I don't look behind me. I am
don't look
just
back. Wow.
swimming as hard as I can and desperately. And I know I'm a strong swimmer, but I'm swimming desperately because I can't drop my bag. It's got the void in it. So I've got that snug on me, and I'm wearing robes and I'm wearing jewels, and I am desperately using every ounce of my strength to swim as hard and fast as I can towards the boat.
Well played. That is really well done.
I was like, what can I do? Oh,
Yeah.
He doesn't know I don't have magic.
And Katrina, I've always enjoyed our interplay and our game when we role play and such too. It's because we do build on each other quite well. So I've just created a character. Erastus was sort of a vague character, but we've actually built a background to your character now. We now know that she was sort of had this pirate past where she actually went with this crew that could have got you through first level and stuff, right?
Yeah.
And that's that story for that. Now you have to follow that character, but you can use those abilities. And I've talked about this, tying it into trying to get better effects. Well played. I love it. And you notice I'm not asking for many rolls at all.
Yeah, I like it. It's
It's
real
well played
quick
in
role play.
context until it comes to like some crucial moments where it's like, hey, all right.
Yeah, I
Now
like
in
that
this,
because then you can put the dice in where you don't want to be controlling the outcome in a specific way. You let the fates decide. I like that.
yeah. And so you swim, but all you hear from back is "son," and you hear him saying this. And for a moment, again, your heart lurches as you remember the good times when you were in his arms. And there were times where it was real, and there were you were happy, and you guys were buccaneers in a way. He showed you a different
Yeah.
side of the world, right? You hadn't seen that before, perhaps, coming from that
No.
that city you were from and stuff. I was thinking,
Yeah.
and all of a sudden, for some reason, he may have captured you originally, or you may have beguiled him. That'd be
No,
an
I'm gonna
interesting
say
story.
it was with them on purpose because of
Oh
with
yeah,
as a
that's
deal
awesome.
to move the shadier items and letters that we
Oh, that's
had
right.
with the Kate. And well, and chosen specifically because whatever we had somehow had information that this captain, this pirate captain, had something from the void. And then when I
Cool.
saw it, I was like, oh, I have to have
That's it. That's awesome. And it might have been another sign from the gods. And for the moment you swim, like, and the boat seems to hesitate for a moment as you see a figures in the front pointing, and they see you swimming there, and they're unsure, and you hear them talking, but it's breaking up over the wind and the waves, and you're getting tired, and you're swimming hard as you can, and there's a bit of a riptide, uh, and but eventually you do get close to this boat, and this boat's smaller than the pirate ship. It's a sleek little sloop, meaning very shallow draft and made for speed. It's elegant. It's got a triangle shaped sail, which is odd. You haven't seen that before, and that's kind of a newfangled thing. And it's a bit of a special craft. It's got a neat little prow that comes up like a little swan's head, and the occupants are about 7 people. I think we have 4 females, 3 males of various shade of skin, pigmentation, and obvious different cultures. They're talking excitedly, like, they've been watching a bit of this drama, and you see this one older guy with white wispy hair and a wispy beard, and he's got the classic kind of Greek tunic on, and he's Greek to the core, but he's an old man, and he's got this little headband, and he's look at her swim, oh, against the rip tide, and a beauty too. He winks over at you see this strange character. He's this muscular guy with this sunburnt, suntanned, open upper body with this kind of steel girdle on with straps, and he's got this Thracian helmet on with all spoked holes on the face, and you hear him kind of this vibrating. Yes, I agree. She's, and they're reaching down, and the winds and the boats turned in toward you, and the most handsome man you've ever seen in your life is at the prow, uh, and literally you probably didn't get a look at him, but anyway, he's steering the boat right towards you as this guy, I'm going to assume, they're reaching down to lift you onto the boat. And then we're going to start our session at that moment.
Perfect.
Yeah.
That'll be a fun intro to them, but give them so you saw some missiles.
Well, you're going to help me with that.
And a figure.
Right? This game, Katrina, I'll often say, what is the mood of the bar, Katrina? Right? And I'll let you decide. Oh, it's belligerent, or no, they're happy, there's a festival, or there's a wedding party. You could just say, and I'm as DM, go, no, that works. I'll go with it. I'll ask players to do that.
Yeah.
And I'll say, I'll go extreme and go, there's a sail on the horizon. What do you think it is? But that's unless I have an event or something. The game has these cool little quirks like that.
That was a fun session. You could even start it like that, but manipulate the numbers a bit to make sure they do, like you gave the roll where they see it and whatnot.
Yeah.
Play through just that beginning part for an intro or whatever.
Wasn't that a neat system though, where it's just you don't have to have books open. You don't once you know it, it's all down to just simple attribute rules and just your imagination.
There's some. I gotta get the UD thing because I don't.
That's on page, but I'll roll you through it again.
Right, if you roll under it, so it goes as long as you're rolling.
No. you'll be assigned a UD, like a U
So let's say
die.
if it's a UD8, I
Yeah,
roll a UD8, and
yeah. And then if you get a
and
1 or a 2, every time if you get a 1
oh,
or
if I get
2,
a 1 or a 2, I go down to a D6.
the next time you
So I
have to
roll
roll
my
it.
D6, I roll a 5, so it continues to go. And the next time I roll a D6, I roll the 2, so now I go down to D4. I roll the 2, so the spell's over this round.
Or that's right.
Or and I
You roll
roll
every
that
round.
every round.
Yeah, you roll every
Okay,
round. When it says UD6, then it's like, yeah, you roll D, and you see how it works.
yeah.
It's if you're
So
lucky, it goes a
do I
long
roll it
time.
at the beginning of the round to see if it continues for that round, or do I roll it at the end of my round to see if that's when it ends?
Uh, yeah, that's a good question because no, the way you do it, the roll the when you cast a spell, you don't roll the UD die. I don't think.
Yeah, you roll it the next because it assumes
Yeah.
success.
So
So I roll the
you'd
next
roll at the
round.
beginning
Do
of
I
the next
roll it at the
round.
beginning to see if
Uh,
it succeeds for that round, or I assume it works that round and I roll it at the
No,
end
it'll work. Yeah,
to see
it'll
if it
work.
ends?
Yeah. Or if
Okay,
you go
so
to the next
the
die.
first round I casted it works. The second round I assume it's worked for that round, and then I roll my D8 to see if it's now ended at the end of that round.
Yeah,
I rolled
that's right.
above a 1 or 2, so it continues. Next round, it's on for that round. I roll at the end to see if it continues. Okay, got it.
Yeah, that's right. And whenever you roll 1 or 2, the die goes less and less until you're
Yeah,
D4, and then you can't go any less, and it's done. And
so I
that
just
works
got to
for
make
stuff
sure
like
I keep
poison.
track of that.
Yeah, duration of poison, torches, right? I'll say, okay, every 10 minutes you roll, and then the torch runs out eventually. And uh, there are stats, like for instance, a UD20 gives you something like 42 average attempts. It's a lot.
Oh, 1 sec, I gotta grab my charger. That was great. That was nice. Thank you for doing that, Darren. It's nice to get my character a little rounded off, to get to play her once or twice, get a feel
Mm.
for when to play her, and just to get the mechanics down a little solid.
Oh, I shouldn't show that yet. Hold on.
Oh, I can't wait to have a moment to stick some jewels in the eyeballs of that
Yeah,
owl and see if something
I made it a
happens.
little obvious, but I thought, okay, I shouldn't have said you had a tingling in your ears. I should have just, but
Well, it was funny because when you said a tingling in your ears, I didn't connect at all. It was only once you said, "Are you wearing earrings?" that I was like, "Oh."
yeah, that's awesome.
Are they
That was a
maybe
lot of fun.
jeweled earrings? Should they be jeweled earrings?
I was assuming you were a bit of a flamboyant character in some ways, that you would have this part of your persona was this dressing in exotic and jewelry and such.
Not super. Like she's kind of like she'd have the way I picture it, she does things like her robes are almost very austere. Like they're very well made, but not like
Mm.
fancy silks or whatnot. Very high necked, but she wears things like what she's wearing in the picture. Like if you've seen in the picture, it's quite ornate. Like that, the headdress and whatnot is over the top because she loves how that gives her status. So for her, it's less about say beauty or seduction and more about I look like someone that's not to be trifled with, that's not to be fucked with. I look like I am powerful. I look like I'm someone of
So
status and
uh, I love that picture.
mystery and
I love your
whatnot.
character. I love that picture. Now, before others join us, you realize as a DM there may be a point where you're going to meet Erastus again.
Yeah,
And
that's just that type of interaction. That's gonna come back to haunt me.
now you have the egg, which he'll be like, "Oh, bitch," when he gets
Yeah,
back, and he may grin and shake his head and go, "Oh," or he's the type who might take that as a slight. Oh, that
yeah.
woman, she was
I'm so curious.
uh, nothing but a harlot. I'll hunt her down. But you do know that their ship took damage, and so they won't be chasing this boat for a little while.
Okay, great.
That's why they had to stop. They took damage.
I'll say I did that. That's how I was gonna get off because I sabotaged
That's awesome. Yeah,
I
that would work.
sabotaged the ship. Little extra hate
So
there.
something went sour, and perhaps he was getting too close, and it was, and you were getting perhaps also now. Oh, I don't want to. I don't want this life. I don't want to fall for him. I don't want to be his consort queen.
I think it's more like she started to panic because she started to want that. She started to see the merit of it, and that she could really,
this might work.
have her own little kingdom here and attribute to it. But she was like, no, I'm loyal to, like, literally she grew up in the Hecate temple. That's like her family, her sisterhood, and everything.
Wow.
So she was like, no, I've got to make that choice. She'd been fooling herself, right? She figured, because she's not the type, again, that's not her thing. So she figured, no problem, I'll screw this guy over. I can make him think he's got me in his pocket and then be gone the next day. And that's why she kind of fucked up her exit, because she did it too early, because she panicked.
And these guys, there's some dark characters on this boat too, frankly, that, we're trying to, there's a woman and all sorts of issues with that. Then they took the wrong, the dark side of that, some of them. And that was another reason.
What she was saying there was true too. So there's definitely that side of it. She didn't have to deal with that her whole life.
That's why we came up ad hoc with that, where you slice that guy because his hands were too free.
Yeah, that was great, which gave her an excuse to, that's why I'm leaving the ship.
Oh, Cat, come on, Cat, what are you doing?
But yeah, that's why she relies on having herself as this powerful figure, because she knows that protects her. They don't want to anger her goddess.
No. And
okay, awesome. Well, I'm gonna sign off for the 15 minutes before things start, so I can get my spells sorted out and quickly grab some food here.
Okay.
Okay, sweet. Thanks, Darren.
No problem.
That was fun. I always enjoy getting to just do some quick one-on-one role play with you.
Oh, yeah. Likewise. And it will be starting it live with you getting hauled up out of the water. Okay.
I meant to ask.
Had the encounter with the sharks and the Set headhunters, fanatics of Set, and everyone survived. But we picked up a couple characters on the boat. There's 2 natives, I guess, in a way. These are kind of native Egyptians, but they're more Bedouins. They're from the desert and followers of Set. But remember, they turned to Carly. And they were now following her.
Nice.
Yeah, so we have a bit of a boatload. There's probably about 10 people now in our party. And
do you have an icon for me, Darren?
No. I'll work on that in a moment. Can you see anything in the map right now? Kat, can you actually see anything right now?
I see the map and I see the boat with icons in it.
Yeah, okay. So for the moment, you're not there technically. So I'm off the hook, but I'll soon want to run into my own snare. As you guys, I'll give you guys about an hour to decide what you want to do. Now, you can take this opportunity to recharge spells, of course, or to fix your armor, and so on. Perseus is going to just guide the boat, and Alman helps him for the moment, and they can manage.
I rolled a d6 to see if I could get my 2 HP back. I got a 1.
No, hit points is different. Hit points you have to rest.
Oh, okay.
You can fix your armor. Or you can rest for an hour.
I took that direct hit to my health.
Oh, okay. I generally say for every hour of rest, you get a hit point back.
Okay.
So how long have we been resting?
And sometimes if you're in a favorable temple or something to your god, you might get more benefits, or if you're in, certain circumstance. Say again, Carly?
How long have we been resting?
An hour.
Okay.
I know in the module it says after an hour's rest, a player may roll one of the character's HD and regain that many HP. But if we're doing some sort of homebrew stuff, then that's fine.
That sounds good to me. So if you guys rest for an hour, you get to roll your hit dice. So if you're fighter and you're second level, you would be able to roll 2 die 8 and get back any hit points.
Okay. But I'm at 3rd level, so I get 3 die.
Or is it 3 hit points? What is it? The wording on that?
It says you may roll one of the character's hit die. So
1.
So I would roll a d8, just one d8.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense. Mages would roll D4 if they rested for an hour. Clerics D8 or D6? D6, I think.
I think it's d8. I don't
Well,
know.
check on your character sheet. It's there in your class. Hey, Emma. Emma.
Yeah, clerics are d8.
Hi.
Hey, thieves are D6 then, I imagine.
Uh,
All right, then we're just getting going on the boat. We've
Ooh.
pushed away and been sailing for an hour, so everyone's had an hour to do what they want to do. And rest. If you rest, you can roll your hit die and gain those hit points back. And you're you're the thief, right? So you get die
Yes.
6 if you rest, or you can repair your armor for an hour. Try
I'm
to.
gonna check. I'm just turning my computer on. I just got back.
Yeah, no problem.
I'll check what it is first. But I think when we first started, like when we just left, I was seeing if I could understand or like try to like communicate with the dudes and try and kind of learn how they talk.
Oh, interesting. That's right. And so you spend an hour doing that?
I think so. Yeah, I'll do that because I don't
All
have
right.
my sheet out yet.
No,
And
that's
Light
awesome.
was doing the same. He's
So
sitting
you-
in on that.
So you could make intelligence checks if you spend an hour and try
I will, and as soon as my character sheet's up, I will.
Okay, yeah, that's not. Well, everyone's getting going. We're just discussing what people are doing. Anyone have? Remember, you have to keep track of your armor if you soak damage.
I passed.
Then you've repaired it. Also if you spend an hour, you can reset your spell choices for the day, magic users.
What were those 2 spells I got there? Sorry, I didn't have my stuff open when we were chatting.
It was dark. You rolled a 1 and a 3.
Yeah.
Darkness and something else.
Darkness and Magic Mouth.
Okay.
Creates an illusory mouth that repeats a phrase to tell all nearby creatures.
Yeah,
Stop
that's
it.
an odd one. You have to be clever in finding a useful way to use that one.
Stop it. It would really work well, I think.
What it is, you know what comes in handy is if you go to sleep, if you're resting, you cast a magic mouth on a tree or something, and if somebody comes into your camp or whatever, the magic mouth will talk to it and wake everybody up and stuff.
Oh, that's a good tidbit. What?
Tidbit.
It-
But then you have to waste
I
a
am
spell
tired.
slot all day. You have to waste a 3rd level spell slot on it all friggin' day.
All frickin' day. Okay, where am I going?
All
Ancient
frickin'
Greece.
day.
I like your camera view, Emma. Very artistic.
Thank you. Don't worry, we'll soon move on to me in the kitchen, and you'll be plopped on my Groot stat. Look, you guys fit perfectly on my plant Groot when you're plugged into my headphones. The little headphone jack goes in between his legs. Like,
Oh boy.
I can't show you without putting you on it. Like this.
Questionable phrasing, Emma.
Yeah.
Like fits. There, you're sitting in him now.
No, also a reminder to look for opportunities during the session. It's up to you to use your background to narrate a advantage to something if it pops up. And also, hopefully, we'll have an opportunity for everybody to talk at some point about their background and tie that into a personal narrative of sharing. To be able to go now, at this point, you won't be going to 4th level. You're going to have to do this sharing 3 times now. And you probably will only be able to do it once a session. So in other words, now you have to play like 3 sessions and successfully narrate to go up a level. And you're 2nd level, so you have to do it twice, Katrina, to go up to 3rd level. right? So this session you'd have to share, and that's probably going to come up, frankly, Katrina, as you guys you're going to meet each other. There's going to be opportunity to do some role play. So this session's going to be quite a bit of role play, just to warn you, and if all goes well, the destination was the city of Luxor, Memphis, Luxor, which is one of the holy big trading cities of the Egyptian Empire, of which one or two of you may have been there at some point. I'm looking toward Emma perhaps here, and even Katrina may have been to this city before and have some connections. So just to warn you, you might have an opportunity to go with that. Just say, oh, I know a merchant down at the docks who's a shady character, and he might be able to give us a lead, and I'll be DM and go, sounds great. That's how this game rolls, right? You guys have to take control. And I'll give you hooks and stuff too if things are dry and whatever, but I always have things going on. So
I rolled a D4, got a 1 for my hit points.
Oh, drat. Well,
so I get 1 back.
That's right.
I failed my thingy bajiggy. Oh,
so
wait, but I think I get, wait, how does this work?
You have to get under your roll. So you have to be 13.
I passed the intelligence check.
So I don't know how you would tie this in, but for some reason the dialect they speak is like an old Doric Greek, and they're remnants of what we call the sea invaders. And this isn't too important. You pick this up, and it's up to you though. They called them the Hexus. They called them the Sea Peoples, and they conquered parts of Egypt. And for a while, Egypt was in anarchy, and that's one of the things that actually happened in history. And these are remnants of those Sea People. So they speak an old Doric Greek, and Doric Greek was a later Greek that was kind of pushed aside. I might have that backwards, but anyway, that's how I'm tying this in, and that's also you realize they're speaking this old Greek that you happen to understand a bit. And they say that you are the representatives of Set has sent them to follow you for 1 moon cycle.
Do I have an hour to study my spells?
If you rested.
Okay.
Because I have something happening. You may get another opportunity, but for the moment,
okay.
No. And then everyone else acted?
Yeah, I rested.
So I'll briefly recap the last session, and if anyone wants to add to that or take charge, feel free. But our crew had been sidetracked by a storm and had decided to take refuge at the shore, but that kind of backfired as they were beset by these headhunting followers of the death god Set, an Egyptian god. And they fought, and also 2 sharks were kind of sent, and you feel that these 2 sharks may have been kind of sent there by Thetis, right? She's and the other characters, Kat, kind of know who I'm talking about, the goddess. And they persevered, got back on the boat just in time as the natives were pouring out of the jungle, so to speak, and it struck ship, and that's where we are. Their backstory, they were traveling to the ancient city of Memphis, Luxor, there to find the location of the Stygian witches, who the ancient oracles that are said to be able to see the future. And Perseus, of course, was sort of the guy who's the groom who's supposed to marry the princess, and you guys have, for whatever reasons, agreed to tag along and help him out, him and the poet Ammon, and Thallo, the man from Argos, who the Kraken had destroyed his city originally. And now you guys have how many days? Well, about 28 days now before the Kraken destroys the city of Joppa. And the Kraken was released by Poseidon, ironically, under the direction of Thetis. So they do work together once in a while in their strange ways. Gods are fickle. But here we are on the shore, and you hear Ammon, he's on the prow, the old poet, and he's been telling you guys a tale of ancient Odysseus and the Odyssey, and how they found the island of the Cyclops and tricked the Cyclops by pretending to, by clinging to the bottom of the sheep when he let the sheep out to roam and graze, they escaped from his den and lived as he had been eating his men one by one as the days went by. But the tale trails off as he looks off on the prow, and then he points and he goes, "Look at that!" And everybody looks around from their business, and you guys see this light shoot up out of the horizon, and it's like a shooting star that's coming from, and then your eyes focus and you realize there's an island there that you hadn't really seen because it was whatever on that and on the horizon, a mirage, but there's something shot something out from this island, and it sparkles, it explodes high in the sky. And Perseus, just on a whim, he's like, "What can that be?" And he turns the rudder, and the boat goes toward this sparkle, and you guys go toward it, and then this island comes out of the mist somewhat, and it's like, strange place for an island. But and it looks pretty rugged and wind torn, and you guys have been sailing for an hour, so you're out ways. You might not even see land at this point, and you were cutting across to the delta. And to your surprise, you see as you get closer, and you're about to turn away, and you are actually turning away in the last second. I'll set the picture now. On this rugged, wind-torn island, it reminds you of your island there, Buzz, where you grew up. You see a shape and wearing colorful outfit, a human, and there's two of them, and they're on a bluff, on a cliff, and there's some exchange going on, and you just make it out, and you're like, "What's going on?" And then you see the one of them stumble back, and he seems to be a man and colorfully dressed himself, and the woman turns around and does a swan dive into the sea and vigorously swims towards your boat, making really good speed. And you're just like, "Whoa." And Perseus is like, "Ammon, what do you think? And what do you all think?"
They don't seem hostile yet.
Can I see if she has flesh or if she's full of scales?
She appears to be human, flesh and blood. And as she gets closer, you can see it's a female. Dark hair, big eyes, big dark eyes, jewelry, and she's quite agile because she swims through the water quite well. She knows how to swim quite well. And she's got some items with her. She's got like a little backpack and such. And she gets to the side of the boat, and the boat is, and Ammon is like, Perseus is like, "Trim the sail a bit. We'll slow down. Could somebody scoop her up, perhaps?"
I'll help her up. Light goes over to that side of the boat.
I'll help you because you're
Spike. And then Ammon says, "Oh, she appears to be quite a interesting woman." And sure enough, you reach down and pull up onto the boat this drenched and coughing, dark-skinned, dark-haired woman, dark eyes. And I'll actually let Kat kind of introduce the situation a bit here.
All
And
right,
everybody
I
can talk, actually.
stuck a picture of her up in a Zoom chat that you can take a look at if you like. That's what she looks at, and that's the headdress she's wearing and whatnot. And yeah, you saw her swimming through the water, and she's like she said, a strong swimmer, but it's very clear that this wasn't exactly a voluntary swim into the ocean, because she's wearing these heavy kind of dark purple, not royal purple, more on the magenta side, robes, and this ornate jewelry across of a headdress. And the robes are very tied up, very almost austere and conservative, and they're quite heavy, so it's quite obvious that she's not going for some afternoon swim and just curious about the boat. So you pull her up, and she's gasping, and Lily somehow manages to pull herself up and like set her shoulders back with her chin up in a way that even like dirty and like bedraggled and her big curly hair like plastered down her face, she still has this sense of almost haughtiness and self-assuredness. She says, "Thank the greatness of Hecate," who you would know is a particular goddess, thank the greatness of Hecate. She sent me the spirit vision that someone would come to protect me, but I didn't know the timing would be so great.
What's going on here?
Pirates. I chartered a ship. I chartered a ship to travel and bring the items and words of Hecate, of my goddess for my temple, and they are not the men that they seem to be when we left port. I barely escaped their ship onto the island and barely escaped from there. I thank the goddess again that you were here.
What is your name?
Sand Shallow Six Fingers. It's good to make all of your acquaintance. As the goddess sent me a vision that you would be here, I feel assured and welcome already by you.
I am Light.
Light. Beautiful. That is a beautiful name. Are you a bringer of light? Are you a good man, woman? What are you? What do you look like?
Man, I like to think so.
You are
He's,
good man, unlike those that I ran from.
I'd like to
She
think
really
so.
gives each of you like kind of a look in the face as she says this, like really trying to sum you up.
Like 10
How
curious
gorgeous she
faces
is.
are looking at you, and
I put my cloak over my face and I shudder and walk away.
Have I offended?
Don't mind Wismar. He's a strange boy.
You will excuse if anything I say is inappropriate. You've obviously caught me not at the best of my times. I could use a blanket. I could use something to dry myself off of. I'm also quite hungry.
Yes, of course, we have those things. I will fetch them.
Excellent.
To get those things.
Ike, he kind of is like, oh, shuffles a little bit away after helping you up and just like sits kind of just like on the other side of the boat. Like he always has a mask on, like a helmet.
so Amun, you see this, the remember I told you about the gray-haired guy with the gray beard that you saw on the
Yeah.
boat? And everyone, that's Amun, the poet, right? He's like, why were you fleeing that island? What brought you on here? The gods are at play here, I sense. And he looks back at his companions and he names them all off. This is the fair Perseus. He is the groom of the princess Andromeda, who is the princess of Joppa. We are here on a quest to find the Stygian witches and also to defy the workings of a Calabos, who is the son of the goddess Thetis. For Calabos upset Zeus and was cursed for his actions. He turned into a demon and now resides in the swamps. But he was supposed to marry the princess, but being a demon, that was unacceptable. But our fair Perseus got her hand, but I carry on. This is Spike, the Widowmaker. And he points toward this hulking brute, this big flanking helmet with big flanges on it and speckled visor. It's actually called a beaver, the thing. And he shrugs. This hulking brute here. Well, we saw his face once. Trust me. Once is enough. And this is our exotic friend, Akalia. She is from the deserts or jungles of Africa and has traveled here through luck and circumstances.
What does
And
she look
here,
like?
Emma, how do you look?
That
You're
was
muted.
vague. I'm sorry, because we're doing dishes and making coffee, so it's kind of loud. But I am I guess, well, no, I'm not really. Okay, I'm a Black woman with like scarring on my face, like parallel scars. And I am in also fairly like conservative clothing with like, I don't know, the vest, like it looks like it has a lot of pockets, and there's a little chameleon on my shoulder.
Cute. Do you look rich? Do you look poor? Do you look magical?
Magical.
Or like more warrior like?
I look more thiefy. Not thiefy. I look like a little merchant person.
Okay, so you're not wearing a bunch of jewels or
No.
dress or anything. Okay.
No.
Pretty sophisticated, actually. She's got a very noble look to her in a way, I guess.
Yeah, so sorry,
Upper
as he keeps
class.
introducing, and as each of you are introduced in turn, she makes some real direct eye contact with you, like a little uncomfortable, really, like she's waiting for you to look away first, not in the way of dominance, just it's a little uncomfortable. She really makes some
You can-
strong eye contact.
You can feel the chameleon watching you too.
Yeah, as your chameleon peeks out, you see from in her pack, or I don't know, sorry, no, actually, so it was flying above her, so hidden from in under kind of her hair is where he's usually hiding. This darts out. And there's this little three-eyed hummingbird. That's the familiar I rolled for. That's this kind of bright orange and browns in contrast to her color, who's constantly kind of darting around and in, and then he goes and kind of like goes back into her hair as it starts to fluff up again, and then zips around.
So
And I
that's
forgot
going to be a
mention,
thing.
like her hummingbird, she's got a third eye tattooed on her forehead.
Yeah, so that hummingbird will.
Stares at you with all three eyes as you like.
That's really cool. And he goes, and over here, of course, is our boat wizard so far. He may be in competition. And he winks at Wismar. And you see Wismar briefly describe yourself to the new companion.
Six Finger, you call yourself.
Stand shallow. Shallow will do.
Interesting.
Oh, actually, you walked away, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so Amun goes, you must not mind him. His past he has a bit of tragedy, of course, as most of us Greeks do. And he has a connection to one of our nemesis. And he whispers, the goddess Thetis. She does not wish us to succeed, for her son, Calabos, has been shunned of his bride. And she wanted that power. She wanted control of the city as well. That's why she arranged for her son to marry the princess.
And I
But
wonder
now-
what makes him welcome here when your quest seems so opposed. I not being one to disagree with anyone's choice of god or goddess.
Did you see that strange shrunken head that was hanging from his belt?
I did not. He
Well,
was quick to flee. Sometimes I do have that effect. I apologize.
it is the shrunken head of his mother.
Oh,
Is Light back from getting
well.
blankets yet?
There's definitely a moment of like,
I hear this.
It cracks for a second. This kind of stoic.
No, he said
thing
it.
she's
He
trying
said
to
it.
give off.
Whispered to her. He whispered it to her while you were at the other end of the boat.
Is he a practitioner of the necromantic magics?
I've seen it. He is
Oh,
very effective.
well, just as I am not one to judge the choice of God, I am not one to judge one's choice of magic. That is rare, and I do look forward to further conversations with such a man who delve into that darkness.
It is as I suspected. Then the fireworks were your display, were they not? From the island.
Absolutely. As I said, the goddess Hecate told me that a ship would come to rescue me from my plight of the pirates. So I escaped onto the land, and behold, she provides. So I sent you a beacon, and you came.
What sign did you see? And Ammon, you can see, is just raptured now. He's the gods and all this, and he's got his sketchbook out, and he's sketching you now. Do you mind?
What signs did I see? And you see, she gets a little. She puts two fingers on her third eye and kind of looks up, and it's a very dramatic pose, very, very dramatic, because she sees that she's being drawn, and she's enjoying this, so she strikes an even more pose, and she says, "Last night As I slept, I saw the vision of a great ship come down a waterfall, and it fell into my mouth, and I swallowed it, and my belly was made warm and safe. And I was assured you would come. And here you are, and here I am.
Amun's like, wonderful, wonderful. And he's writing quotes. And indeed, you Hectus, you said, was your patron. Hecates. Pardon me.
Hecate,
Fascinating.
the goddess of the crossroads, of the moon, of ghosts, of souls, and of witchcraft.
And he turns to the rest and, well, I think I've introduced everybody. Unless anybody wants to introduce themselves further.
Yes, you all have my supreme gratitude for taking me aboard your ship. It is a kindness you shall not regret. Did you say you are going to the Stygian witches?
We seek them. We seek where they are. Do you know of these?
Oh, I do not know of them, but I would say there is certainly a hand of the gods and goddesses in this meeting, for I am a burgeoning oracle, as I have said, as the visions come to me through me from my God.
So, anyone else can, at this point, or obviously this conversation between the poet and this stranger, who has just kind of made herself at home, it appears, and sat daintily in the boat, as this old man seems to be. He's offered her wine, by the way. Wine?
Yes, and she's kind of found somewhere to sit back as she sips her wine. She calls out a bit and says, "Unfortunately, I haven't the magic of heat. If someone could bring me a spare set of clothes I can change into, and somewhere I may hang my robes so they can dry. I would also love to set out my headdress. I would hate for it to rust. It is a great show of my status in the temple." She looks around expectantly, like someone was gonna bring me a blanket. Where's my, come on.
Amun's a
Spike
gentleman.
just-
Go ahead, I'll let you guys play. And
Spike's just like, like you ask for like blanket or whatever, and he's just like,
I
yes.
slowly meander over. A blanket you asked for. I've been alone. I've been alone in the cave for many years. And now I'm on a boat with what I appear to be strangers in my life at this point. We see Perseus, an intelligent man. He's guiding us to fight. And we speak of lords and gods and goddesses. We keep speaking of these lords and goddesses, and you dare to ask for a blanket? Ask your god or goddess for a blanket. And I shimmy away.
Ask my goddess for a blanket? Oh, I like you. That must only, it could only be a joke. A goddess so concerned with the comfort of her mortal that she sends a blanket. I like you. I like you very much. That's great. Blanket. But really, is there a blanket somewhere?
and Amun's chuckling, but he's a gentleman, and he's like, "Hi, ma'am, I have a blanket here." And the old man gives you one. I'm fascinated by your tale. Fascinated
You
by
have
your
my
tale.
gratitude tenfold. I would hate to bother my goddess for a blanket.
And Emma, I sent you message on Facebook.
And I'll turn to him and I'll say, I was told you follow a god yourself. Am I incorrect?
I breathe deep. Perseus taught me to speak the language I know. But we shall not speak of the gods.
Well, I shall find that rather difficult myself, as I am a devotee of one. But please do rest assured that I place no judgment upon you for your choices.
I just like to imagine that Spike is in between these two and it's just horribly uncomfortable. Just like visibly like,
We got the two wizards going off on the bad start, eh? This is awesome. I love it.
This is great. She loves it. She's like, I gotta fuck with this guy.
Light gets out of there and goes to like steer the boat or something and be busy.
No, you,
pardon me, Emma.
Akalia, I hate to be so forward, but truly I am quite uncomfortable. Might you have a spare robe I can wear while mine dry and I rest?
Unfortunately, I only have what I'm wearing. In all honesty.
You have one outfit? You can see
Yes.
she's very much like, what? What?
After
I
our
couldn't-
conversation,
Oh.
I slowly wipe the sweat and the anxiety off of my face, and I walk away.
Perfect. That's exactly what she was hoping for. Well, after I am given a spare set of clothes, I shall rest for the next hour if there's somewhere I may do so, and then you may ask of me what you may, and we may figure out why the gods have placed me in your path.
Check your, actually, Katrina, I meant to tell you to check your Facebook message.
Oh, okay.
And I'll pause a moment to let everyone, so a lot of them were looking with amusement, some were kind of frowning, others I imagine were chuckling. You saw Spike, his metal helmet is swiveling back and forth, and as he described, he's like caught in the middle of these two wizards, which nobody wants to be caught into. But Ammon mentioned that we're on a mission to find the Stygian witches, and the only lead we have at the moment is that it said the wise men of the fabled Luxor will be able to tell us, hopefully. And lo and behold, you do see up ahead there's one of the estuaries of the river flowing into the Mediterranean, and it's a majestic sight. There's palm trees and big leafed plants infringing. You see crocodiles, and it's like, ooh, like, and then you see Perseus kind of steers out a bit as you see about 8 or 10 crocodiles basking on the sun and sunbathing, but they're on the shore and you guys are sailing by them. But it's a neat sight. You see other beautiful cranes swooping in, and the majestic Nile starts to open to you. And you realize after seeing shore and shore of kind of desert and scrub with the odd little patch, but now all of a sudden suddenly you realize how powerful the Nile is and so important.
I
Yeah,
suspect
the last thing you
Sobek's
said, Kat,
presence
yes.
is-
Oh, sorry,
Light was
Carly,
just
go.
saying, I suspect Sobek, the god of crocodiles' presence is strong here.
I imagine. They're beasts too. Some of them are like 15 feet long, 20 maybe.
Let's stay out of there, of the water for once.
So
I
Perseus
agree.
nods up to Acalia. Which estuary did we were supposed to go? And you remember you were the one who actually knew your way up the Nile in the group. That was your
Yep.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm running to the computer.
Oh, no,
I
I'm
need
just
to roll,
saying.
right? Oh,
No, you just roll with it, narrate it.
which estuary did we take?
Cat.
I'm-
So give
Oh.
me 1 second. I talked to Cat for a sec.
Oh, okay.
You have to roll with this, but you have that information. And yes, you do know. So anyway, Emma, pardon me. Go ahead.
I go to the top of where I can actually see. What time of day is it now?
Actually, you guys are looking pretty good. It's probably about 2 in the afternoon, and the weather's become agreeable. The storm's gone. And the estuary you know of or and familiar with is a little further down. It's probably another hour. Or you could try this more shortcut one that goes to the left.
Is there a map I'm supposed to be looking at? Oh, like way, like little bitsy bitsy. Wait.
I can't hear Darren.
Oh, pardon me. I was
Yeah,
going to
it
say,
looks
you
like
know how
I'm hearing-
rivers split like into a delta, right? And they split
Yeah.
up often. Yeah. You know there are some that are dangerous, some that are safe, and some that are risky. The main one is up ahead another hour yet, or you can take a risky one and save time. And I just have to type something though. Give me a second.
Okay.
Do you know, Buzz, have you used charm yet in this game?
Yes, I have.
Is it like D&D where when it wears off, the person knows you cast a charm on them?
My charms haven't lasted long enough to really know. I only do small things.
And the people have died after.
Oh,
Or it was like a shark.
But did they when it wore off, did they know they'd been charmed?
Yeah, because the one soldier, I'm pretty sure, went to pick his sword back up.
Okay, so
Turn
that's,
around, I
did you
mean.
hear that, Darren? It's like D&D where if you use charm on someone, when it wears off, they know they've been charmed.
Often. Now I homebrew this, and depends. Circumstances change,
Okay.
but generally.
Good to know that can be, because that changes.
Oh,
when
it can
you do
change.
that for
It depends
sure.
how you roll it and the situation, because that's a bit tricky, right?
Thanks.
You can pull it off if in the right circumstances they wouldn't know. But they probably know they'd been beguiled. Anyway, splitting hairs. I sent you another message. We're back on the boat. And so Emma, Akalia, you're a confident sailor, and you've been taking some of the rigging work, and you've actually taken a shift from Perseus earlier at the rudder. And he says, do you wish to take the rudder now, Akalia? This is your territory, and you can direct us, or I could take your commands.
Do I have to be strong to command the rudder?
No, you can't
Okay,
be
then I'll take
noodle
over the
armed.
rudder.
He
I just
nods at
will you
you.
be making me do strength checks? Because then I
He
shouldn't
stretches
take the
his-
rudder.
No, nothing like that. No, you're
Okay.
accomplished sailor. And so Perseus, he goes up to you, to the stranger, and he hasn't had a chance to really, kind of just nods to you. Welcome aboard, apparently. I sense you have quite a story to tell us, perhaps at another time. And he's busy at the sails, and you see that he is incredibly handsome. And even guys kind of take a double take. I mean, I'd be like, God, he's just a handsome man. Look at that. And what a perfect chin. And you find yourself often even just losing your thoughts as you look at his face. You're like, yeah. And it turns out you don't know yet, but it's like, God, is he touched by the gods or something, this guy?
I'd be especially thrown because I just underwent a little bit of personal heartbreak, so I'm like,
Not quite on the rebound yet.
Oh yes, your welcome is greatly appreciated. And she kind of just brushes by him. She's uncomfortable with how alluring he is because she's really not that type of. She takes the very austere route and whatnot to protect herself in her travels from men. So she's uncomfortable with this. So she brushes past him and she walks towards Akalia at the helm, and she's speaking loudly enough others can overhear. She's not being sneaky, and she's hung up her robe, so she's in kind of this very simple shift, and her hair has dried out to this big frizzy mass that the hummingbird is constantly darting in and out and away from, with that tattoo stark on her forehead with the eyeball in the middle, that same bright orange as her hummingbird is colored.
Kat, can I say one thing? The
Yeah,
hummingbird is like putting hairs in place,
Yeah.
helping you fix your hair.
He's always going around. He's kind of like lifts parts. He's just like an ADHD freaking little thing just all over the place. I say, I am hesitant to speak up here and speak forwardly. I find myself among strangers as much as I am a stranger to you all, but I must tell you, I have the information you are looking for. I have the location you want, and the direction you're currently going, it's horribly wrong.
And Amon turns around. He's been dipping in the wine a bit, and he reaches to fill your glass up. But he waits as everyone else who heard that. Some of you might have been resting. Now you have to decide with this next hour what you were doing. And even if you were resting, that means you were just tending your wounds and stuff. You could be listening still, I suppose. So everybody heard her say this. And Perseus looks at her with a raised, "What do you mean? Do you know something about our quest?"
You have been candid with me that you are looking for the Stygian witches, as many have before and many will, and most don't succeed. True?
We do.
Well, I know exactly where they are.
Before you proceed, I'll tell you why we seek them. For
I would ask that you do. I was just on a boat where the entirety of the crew turned on me, and I find myself wary to relinquish my value here as well. So please share me a little more of your intentions.
and Perseus looks around the boat. Others are better with words. Perhaps they would wish to say the nature of our quest to this stranger, for she does not know what the stakes to the city of Joppa. You've heard of Joppa. It's a magnificent city on the right where current Israel is, roughly. Beautiful, majestic city. And you would probably know that they had their patron goddess was Thetis, who was, remember, involved in.
Who is the one the majority of us are not on board with right now, right?
Well, yeah, you happen to be on the wrong side of her wrath, and then also she's the one who's getting the Kraken to destroy the city. If the hitch. Now, actually, I'll let you guys talk the story. There's more
So
to
with
it.
this next hour, am I able to study my spells?
Yes,
Okay.
you can keep
Light,
an ear open to the conversation, but you can't really partake much if you're studying your spells.
Light will, I guess, explain. Yes, we searched the witches, and our reasoning is quite dire, for it seems that that the god, sorry, what's her name again? Athesis? Yeah.
This
Thetis.
Has been offended, and she vowed that within a month, if they do not sacrifice their princess, that she will sick the Kraken upon the city and destroy us all. So we have decided that we will fight the Kraken, and if at all possible, but we must know how to defeat it and approach this wisely. So we must go to the witches and ask their advice.
that is a dire thing indeed. But I'm still wary. Let me be honest, there are not many people who will willingly give up the location of the Stygian witches. Never mind lead you there. The instructions are not simple enough that I could simply tell you how to sail there, and you clearly don't know where you're going.
But Amun says, but you yourself said that you were guided here. So it is not simply like that, is it? And then he falls silent.
And surely one as wise and great as yourself could help us in our time of need.
This is true. This is true. She likes that.
You can tell it kind of sours Light a little bit to say that.
My assistance could be of a great boon, and I did end up here upon receiving a vision from my goddess. I am probably of great value to your mission here? This is true. What is
Probably.
your reasoning, all of you, for being here to do this? Why are you putting your lives at the line? For the Stygian witches are not powers to be taken lightly. They are just as likely to curse you and send you on your way than to give you any boon you wish for.
Now, here's an opportunity for anybody to use one of those. If you're third level, you can get one of those 3 background stories at this point. Now, some of you are busy. Wismar, you can't at this point. You're at the rudder, so you can't. Kalia. And if anyone else was resting or repairing armor, you can't. Only if you weren't doing anything you can actually use this opportunity to tell your motivation about why you're here. If you want. It's just to let you know, and I don't want to tee that up every time or whatever, but this is one of those windows. And I will hint at it as DMing in the future. I'll say, oh, you sit back in this, you talk.
Okay. So Spike kind of finally chimes up a little. And he says, well, I am somebody who in another life defied the gods. Somebody who went against their wishes and challenged them at every turn. I challenged the will of the god Artemis by hunting in her forest, and I was cursed.
That is quite a brave thing to do as a human. Wow.
And I also was among those who invaded Troy. And there were many atrocities committed, horrific, awful atrocities. And I proudly bore the name Widowmaker, and now I still carry it as a reminder of those horrid things that I've done in my life.
Yes,
so I am here.
I sense the souls of many widows amongst you. The ghosts of them cling to you. I see it.
Yes. Yes, and they are a constant reminder of the mistakes that I've made.
Wow.
Well, our meeting is also a great one then, for my goddess. She has dominion over ghosts. I'm sure we can speak together and we can help begin to relieve you of your presence as they cling to you like a fog. You are lucky to have met me, and I am lucky to be able to help you.
Spike. Yep.
Now, that helmet never comes off. And you're not, the nature of the curse, he exposed that to the rest of the party last session to metagame a bit. But anyway, well played.
will, at that point, then I'm gonna, as I'm talking to him and saying this, I'm gonna reach out and lightly cast his arm, and I will cast light on him. So it's just gonna make him shine. So as I'm saying this, as I talk and I say, I can see it on you. I can see them around you like a fog smothering your conscience, and she touches you and you shine. There's this light that comes off of your skin as she continues to speak and says, "You are lucky to have met me. I can help you." And she steps away as you continue to.
Now, give me a disadvantage roll, Kat. And not this is because it's difficult roll, not because you're being penalized. This would be a wisdom check.
Wisdom at disadvantage?
Yeah.
Yeah, one sec. I'm pressing the roll and it's not rolling.
Okay, and those memories of when Troy was sacked viciously.
Oh, I see why.
And the temples pillaged, priests and priestesses slain.
Success.
You feel something happens on the boat. You sense the presence of something as the water is kind of calm suddenly, and Perseus is like, and you see the sail kind of go slack a bit, and it's like Ammon is suddenly standing up a bit, and he's looking at you, and you see around Spike these ghosts coming off him. These, and maybe you're just seeing things because they wisp really quickly away, but they leave him, and they seem to be of something that was clinging to him in a way, and perhaps, but they kind of wisp away and go. Spike yourself, I don't know how you take that, and it's metaphorically or visually, it is you're stunned and looking around as you realize that you were carrying ghosts with you, and you were preventing them from going to Hades, or I forget the paradise, but making their journey across the river Styx.
Okay. We are indeed fortunate to have met you. Thank you.
And then suddenly the sail kind of furls a bit and fills up with air, and the boat lurches forward again, and you hear a seagull screech, and everybody kind of looks around a bit with wonder. And you recall that time, that massacres in the city, of how you're role in that now. But anyway, we'll let you interpret that as you will.
Fascinating.
You do feel better, Sprite. I will say that you do, and you do. And your fangs under your mask, one of your fangs that goes up and often scrapes against the inside of the mask. Sorry, yeah, you see a little glimpse of that cat.
Are you a vampire?
Well, we'll see. It's still coming out. We'll see what his background does. But you see a fang that almost pokes out of one of the circles of the mask.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, excuse me.
Oh.
That happens once in a while. My underbite is quite severe. And you can't imagine though, but he's got a 3 charisma as part of his curse.
Yeah, and you're still lit up, by the way. It's gonna last for a little while. I'm just rolling.
Yeah, so this boat kind of is lit up, and another boat goes by, and traffic has picked up, by the way, just to let you know. You see the odd boat go by, and traders mostly, and hopefully no pirates. You actually see a kind of a trireme go by, a military craft, probably Egyptian or something, who knows. So this is a patrolled area, and you can let your guard down, I guess, if it was ever. And you turn, and you're going to head up the Nile now. You've reached that spot, Emma. You motion, you're at the prow, and you point. Here it is. And you see there's a huge estuary, and Nile's friggin' huge, man. And even one of the chunks of it, this is probably 1/10 of the river. It's one of the big ones, but it's still huge. It's like massive river still, this 1/10 of it.
So you are looking to redeem yourself. Why are the rest of you here?
Is my hour up?
Yeah, the hour's gone by. Yep.
I was actually gonna make her pinpoint you, but then I was like, all right, he's not here.
He does though. It's your call, Wismar.
Oh, that could be, if you don't mind. You walk back up to the ship, and she directs that at you. So then, why are the rest of you here? Like yourself. There's that eye contact.
And what do you look like, Buzz? Describe. The camera would see you as she sees
Right now, I have a headdress hanging over my face, and you can see some very thin white hair, pale skin, and there's a glow coming from my mother's head. You don't know that much my mother's head too much. I don't know that you know that.
It was gossiped about.
Yeah. And I have very bright blue eyes, almost like the ocean. Like water with silt in it.
Like that ocean behind me. That's what his eyes
Yes.
look like. The light went
wow.
over my shoulder. Aqua turquoise.
Wow.
You could almost see the veins in my skin. I'm so pale on my hands. I'm nervous and anxious individual. I appear to be not strong with my language. And I look at you as you say that to me. And I slightly smile for the first time in a while. I said, "You humor me. I hope you have more jokes for me." And you can tell I have a lot going inside of me, I feel.
Yeah, she's genuinely, she's very, like, you have piqued her curiosity. She's trying to get in there, trying to crack
And
it.
I grab you by the hand softly. And I whisper in your
Very
ear.
tempted to pull back, but she's like, she feels like that would be a show of weakness. So she.
I whisper in your ear. I'm losing faith. Maybe I will tell you my story if you give me a reason to trust you.
And she turns and she looks you dead in the eyes, and there's like this really like facial armor she's wearing all the time really just kind of drops for a moment. And she says, "Aren't we all?" To your comment, you say, "I'm losing faith." She goes, "Aren't we all?" I think I have some understanding of the opportunity of being human in this world with the powers we do. I feel we could benefit from each other. And she pulls back, and the face is there again. I would love to hear your story sometime. I'm sure we will have many days.
I came from a beautiful island that you swam up to this boat on.
You came from that island.
Similar. Volcanic rock. I lived deep within, deep inside. I could feel the heat from the earth. The volcano would bubble out into the ocean, and the island would grow. I dwelled in there for many, many years, alone. I heard whispers deep within the caves as the ocean roared through the island, mixing with the lava and the magma. I could feel the heat, almost so hot, but not hot enough to burn my skin. I was starting to hear voices inside there, alone. I would sweat and panic, not knowing anyone but my mother's head. I would have these dreams. I'd be sailing with warriors and holy ones, enchanted people with red skin. Yet I'm still alone on this boat, surrounded by each and every one of you. You see Perseus, a friend of mine, a dear friend. I met him as I came crawling outside of this island. I would soon find him fishing. He would take me, teach me language, show me how to live. He's seen the fear in my eye. The voices I heard deep within this island were not of human. They would giggle in horror and in greed and dread. All I would hear all the time. It was dangerous. So dangerous I had to run. I feel these voices and these sounds were forcing these dreams into my mind. Almost some kind of mind control. I have one purpose, but I'm not here to tell you that right now. I feel I've told you too much. And you've told me nothing. You stand here so proud, making Spiky glow so beautifully, while I stand alone on this boat, watching you impress everyone here, even the servants that follow the cleric. How do you do this? Who are you? As I lose faith, you tell me you lose faith. I show you no sign of love, and you share your love. We'll see. And I start to tear and cry and quiver.
You've still got, sorry, is that the end?
That's the end.
Oh yeah, you've still got, that was great, by the way.
Wow.
Still got your hand in hers, and as you speak, her grip slowly tightens. And are there other people around us, or do we have a moment alone here that I'm speaking to him?
Amon is sketching. He's,
Okay, so there
oh, he's enraptured. And Spike is
listening,
there.
so
There's
Light
a lot
was
of people.
there.
This is an intense, dramatic Iliad moment in my mind. I'm lost.
okay. There were two different avenues of people listening, or just you. So I got people out listening avenue.
You guys are our entertainment right now.
And as you speak, her grip on you, whereas before she was like ready to pull away when you touched her, it begins to tighten, and she slowly kind of like pulls your hand in closer towards her as you speak, and she's keeping that real uncomfortable eye contact with you, and she says, "They say that the feet of mountains and the trails of volcanoes go down into the layers on top of the underworld. They say that that fire, that liquid fire, is what seeps into the void, into the place between the souls and gods and the realms of humans. I believe you have heard the voices of the void, and no one returns from that normal. You will never be normal, not if you have undergone such a blessing, and it is a blessing as it is a curse. Just as my dreams guide, you must listen to yours, and I can help you with that. You may never command presence, but I am certain you command more powerful things and only require one such as myself to help you translate these gifts."
And I have to make a note here. When your hands were clasped, San Shallow's hand, you noticed, did have 6 fingers, including the thumb, 5 fingers and a thumb. But you did notice that Wismar's hands were webbed.
Interesting.
Subtly.
And I want to, is there an equivalent of an insight roll that I can give on his story to see whether I think he's telling the truth or whether he's making an elaborate metaphor?
Sure. No, you could make a wisdom check or a charisma check. He's a pretty intense guy.
It's not, difficulty normal. Success.
Well, by the you've never seen eyes like his. If you look at that color behind me over my other shoulder, that's the color of his eyes, and the web features, the subtle little web fingers, and since yeah, he's probably, everything he says is genuine as far as you know.
And if we did not lose faith at times, our faith would not be real. The gods, they're not perfect, nor do they require perfection of us. To doubt is to find certainty. I will help you find yours, if you let me. Will you?
Interesting. You're so eager. You're so eager to help us.
How could I not be? A goddess has put me in your path.
A goddess. Huh. A goddess. Shall we speak of more gods on this ship? Maybe they'll pick us up and fly us to the Kraken.
Maybe
So
you'll
we can
finally get
just-
that blanket.
Exactly. You'll get to your magic carpet over in Egypt. Huh. The goddess.
Well, how about I make a deal with you, Wismar, of so sad and mysterious a past. When I speak to you, I shall not speak in terms of my goddess. I shall speak in terms of my own personal power and the fates that bring me to be where I am. I follow a goddess, yeah,
I
but I
cut
do
her off.
not. I'm not defined.
I
by
cut her. I keep continuing to cut her off. You keep speaking of these gods. I need you to help me, not your gods. As I told you in my story, Perseus came to me and helped me. He showed me how to fish. He taught me how to speak. And you dare get your goddess to help me, but don't have the energy to help me.
You ask me how I sit here and give love when you give me none. It is because I am willing to follow a goddess, because I am willing to listen and learn from others.
Thallo
And I-
steps forward from the prow, and Thallo hasn't said anything yet. He's a big Greek warrior, typical. He carries the bronze breastplate and elegant greaves in front of his shin, and a Greek sword and a big round shield with the sign of Argos on it. Enough talk of this gods, and of this talk of favors and love. We are on a quest. I see that this one was brought to us here for sure by higher beings. And he looks at the water skeptically and makes a sign to his god. And then he looks back. So, woman, you are here, and you say you can help. And he looks back at Wismar. And you're always doom and gloom. I'm sure we will find a higher way. And he mutters again, do you aid us or not? We go to Luxor. We seek help, the Stygian witches. And he mutters and kind of grabs the flask of wine from Ammon and squirts a big stream in his mouth. And he's a real macho man, and he's real proud of his thick beard and his hair. And he's an aristocrat, but a warrior, true warrior aristocrat, hoplite, Greek, a true Greek through and through, if there's ever been one. And by the way, he mentions that, or no, Ammon says, 20 years ago, his city was destroyed by the Kraken. And he has been without a city since, and following Perseus. I have been following Perseus, and I have no city. But I have the gods, and you speak about gods fickly. I warn you, this talk brings their attention. And even on his words, you hear thunder crack somewhere off in the ocean. We are here now. We move up the river. Is everybody ready? And what can you bring us? He again challenges you.
What can I bring you? I have been brought to you. I do not fear the gods, but I do fear wasted time. And if you seek the Stygian witches, you are going in the exact wrong direction. And if you would like to be going in the exact right direction, a little respect would be appreciated. Or you
I
can
hear
find
all this.
another witch who happens to be dropped in your path who knows exactly where you need to go.
Wow, that's awesome. Buzz?
Spike stands up and
Oh, Spike?
says to Thallo, you have the classic pride of a fool.
Aye. He turns around, spins. A fool. I
Yes.
see. And you see he's shocked. He stumbles back.
Light steps forward. He goes, now, we are all here as a group and as friends. We are not meant to be divided. This quest is too important.
No, and he spins around. I will not be called a fool. Draw your sword, or whatever you call that beast of a thing you swing like some peasant hacking wheat.
Sounds good to me.
Thalos, Spiky, enough of this nonsense.
Oh.
Find peace.
I will attack him if I can.
And you
Light
see the two
stands kind of in
warriors.
the middle and puts his hands out and tries to give an air of peace and a demeanor of command.
Well, let's roll initiative then
Okay.
to see who actually is in a position. Now, this will dictate to see if you're in a position to move in time. So everyone makes a dex check, and it's between you two basically at this point. And then I'll roll for him. He's
It's
the
just a
NPC.
dex attribute check.
Yep. And you have to get less. Remember, most times you have to get under your number, so not
I
equal or less.
succeeded.
Oh, I failed.
All right, so you go up, and Perseus yells out, "Thallo, hold! What do you do?" But actually, you get first move.
Okay, I'm gonna attack him.
Right.
Okay.
Now, hold on a sec. For a moment, this happened really quick. So people were doing things and were like, whoa. So if he did roll. What did you roll here? I have to get this. Spike rolled.
I succeeded. I rolled an 11.
And the one who immediately said she get up in between was the only one who failed. So the rest of you were quiet at the moment, so you're taken off guard. So you reach in with a strike. Now make a strength check, because you have. What do you say and narrate this as this arrogant aristocrat from Argos, who you called a fool?
Yeah. I say, I will call you a fool again and again, even once you are in the ground, dead, long dead. I will still call you a fool.
Oh, you see the rage from
Bitch.
Spike. Wow.
Pissed.
Yeah, Greeks are a
Okay.
hot-headed bunch. All right, so go ahead, roll your strength check. You attack him. You lunge, and you're too slow, Carly. As you see, Spike is enraged. Oh, you're kidding me.
Oh my god.
All right, you rolled it. Hold on, you rolled you rolled a 6. You succeeded. I'm not sure
Okay.
why it has. You
Okay,
didn't roll
am I
a crit.
attacking with my
Two-handed weapon that he
Yeah.
called a peasant scythe.
yeah. That I do a D4 when I attack with the two-handed weapon.
Yeah. Oh, I see. I got it. No, but it minused from it because you actually rolled a 6.
I mean, I hit either
But
way.
you did. Just so you know. So what's your damage pool? Oh, he soaks it.
I have 3d6.
Yeah, and his shield is quick, and it ching, 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 and you come in hard, and you just shred his shield to pieces. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. So he swings back with his Greek blade, and he's no slouch. So I'll get you to roll your strength check to defend yourself. Now, oh yeah, you're equal level. So go ahead. You're both.
So with the two-handed weapon, it says that I get. I have to look for this because just clarify what it is.
You get extra damage, isn't it?
I think it says. I have to find the.
You get
Page.
1d4 extra or something like that.
A D4 should be rolled and added to the attribute test to attack, defend, and to any attack damage rolls.
Yeah, so both ways. So you get a penalty to hit, but you get advantage on damage. But you have your die pool, remember? So if you use all 3 and you hit him, you get 3d6 plus
3d4.
3d4.
So then if I'm rolling to defend, then do I add a D4 or?
No,
Okay.
I don't. No. You just make your strength check. And did you roll yet? Oh wow!
Oh.
Oh my
So
god!
this veteran warrior moves in quickly, and what does he do? As you're in a bit of trouble.
I don't want to fucking fall over.
All overboard, more like it.
Yeah, Jesus Christ.
Okay, first of all, he shield bashes you for 3 points damage.
Wait,
Or no, that's on the
that's only on defense.
when they attack. Oh, right. Yeah, you're right. Okay, he does 11 points damage.
Okay, and I'll use,
Unless you want to soak.
yeah, can I, that would be, would that take only 1 armor point, or would that be?
Yep.
Okay,
Yep.
then yeah, I'll soak that up with armor.
In which part? Your shield or armor?
Armor, because I don't have a shield.
You don't have a
'cause I
shield.
use a two-handed weapon.
And yeah, he shreds just chunk your armor, and he's quick and goes low and high and gets under your guard. But you think your good armor is one of your leg greaves is shattered and slides off, and so
Okay.
on.
Okay.
Yeah, this game can be lethal, especially if you're a wizard.
Is light up now?
think it's
Now
me
it's next round.
Light
So
didn't
every-
go.
Oh yeah,
Or
you
me.
get to act now, Light.
I think it's me next because I had a success.
Now there's 2 Greek warriors going at it here, so you got to just be careful here.
Yeah,
The
I have
boat
a
is
plan.
lurching around. So actually, I'm going to get everybody to make a dexterity check at advantage to see if you stay on your footing. If you don't, you fall down prone. And by the way, I have to take a short bio. So that was an interesting turn there, man. Spike. Dalo, you had enough of this haughty
Oh, this
stuck-up
jerk.
guy, eh?
I hate him.
I think I'm next in the turn order if I'm reading it right, Darren?
He left to go to the
Oh,
bathroom.
he disappeared.
He left to go to the bathroom, but I mean, I think so. But I'm not sure.
You have to roll dex so that we don't fall over, right?
Yeah, with advantage.
With advantage.
Dex with advantage.
Yeah.
I succeed.
And so is that one different though from like rolling for turn order?
It's still a dexterity thing, so it's the same, but with
Yeah.
advantage.
Using it. I guess it doesn't matter if we all have advantage, we can just use it. Carly, you fall, so unless that's
I noticed.
huh?
Charlie is
You're
prone.
You prone.
Do you become prone because of it? Because I feel like I can still cast spells on the floor.
I mean, that would
Probably.
be something
you
to ask
might
Darren.
gotta- True. Someone gonna charm someone? You gotta something.
From them
I've
both.
got an idea.
Yes.
As long as my spell will land, I've got an idea for next round.
Yeah,
I did not fall.
We're allowed to talk about it, I think, in this, Darren was saying, because with the turn order thing,
Oh, nice.
we're allowed to say, because I have a hold spell, so that's my plan. And then I'm going to shame them.
I'm gonna kill this man.
I'm glad I was
Not your intention.
he's ready.
I think we
How
got
dare
that.
you?
This man is going to
I'll
die.
keep the rudder going.
Well, I'm glad I was able to join you guys. I hope you don't mind how strong Sand
No,
Shallow comes on.
I just need to still decide why I'm on this journey, so don't ask me my person.
He's gonna
You
ask.
came on the wrong boat.
Yeah, frick.
How I'm getting my character introductions.
I thought this boat was going farther from Egypt. We're going towards it? Oh crap, I'm already
Don't
on
worry,
it.
she'll probably offer to guide you down your path.
I'm
Oh,
a
God.
Of such value to you as a person.
Character is not very smart, so it's a little
I'm
simple.
a cat. I'm a voodoo. I'm a follower of voodoo in this game.
That's great. She's gonna love you. Actually, you guys might have some
Okay,
talking to do on the side.
Huh? That's what?
You guys might have some talking to do on the side. So
Aw.
this isn't advertised. This is metagaming. You guys can't act on it. But she's a follower of Hecate. But she's basically part of that. She's grown up in that temple, even though she's a wizard. And she basically belongs to a small, almost like a cult within the Hecate temple that specifically delves more into the realm of spirits and ghosts and souls. Because that's one of Hecate's domains of power. So she's quite interested in things of that realm, if you will.
Yeah.
That's why she brought up the void. Whether or not it is the case, she now believes that Wismar was stuck
Characters
somewhere
always
where
used
he
to
was
get
hearing
along so
voices
well.
from the void, which is the realm of ghosts and souls before the Underdark.
Hmm.
Oh, and Wismar, give you a little heads up. Remember what you picked up last session?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. I can't watch right now. They're all back.
Yeah, I got that in my inventory.
By the way, 2 thumbs up, everybody. Well played. I can't wait to watch the recording. Well played, and again, you guys stepping in, and I just sit back and go, wow, that's perfect. My brain's working as you guys are talking. I'm like, the gerbils running on this wheel.
You know everyone's secret.
Well, and things are changing. Like, it's an amazing game how it does that when the characters take narrative.
Yeah.
But anyway, that took me off guard. This confrontation. Here we go.
Okay,
So,
I'll take
anybody
my-
fail their disadvantage check?
Light did, but like can you still cast a spell from the
No.
bottom of the boat?
No. And there's these 2 big guys that are taking up a lot of room in this boat. This boat's probably about 40 feet long, maybe. And
Yeah,
then
don't
with the
step on
sail
me.
and such, yeah, you're just trying to. Well, if you fell down, that kind of disrupted your action. That's what I was going to get at. So anyone, let's roll initiative.
I'm still on my initiative from next round, or from
Can
the
I-
first round.
Oh, you haven't acted yet?
Garen,
Okay,
can
so
I?
that was going to be surprise round. Let's start a new round. Like, this caught everyone so off guard. All of a sudden, these 2 Greek warriors were clanging with sparks flying.
We didn't get to go.
Okay. Yeah, fair is fair. Okay. Who's first then? Who's
Wait.
to go?
Well, Sanshallow starts by taking a couple steps back from where they're fighting, get away of the swinging blades, always wise. And then she kind of puts her hands up and does this, and these thin purple silk, like threads, just come out of her fingers, and they start draping themselves all over both of these 2 warriors. And anywhere it touches them, they just stick. So his arm is raised for a blow, and this piece falls through here and it sticks to everything, and he's stuck like that. And they just kind of gracefully fall all about them, and as it touches anywhere on their body, they're and trying to pull against these threads, but it's like a web, just like silly string that's just all over them, and they're stuck now in these positions. And I'm just aiming to get the 2 of them, since they're right by each other. So they're kind of, neither of them can move, casting web on them.
Now, I'm going to throw a little monkey wrench in here and ask you to give me a dex check to see if you don't hit some rigging and stuff. Cause a little havoc on the boat. It's close
Well, it's fine.
quarters.
I can dismiss it as soon as I want to, I assume. Dex check?
Yep.
Failure.
So it does. It's going to end up hampering the sail and some rigging. And the boat lurches sideways and goes a bit off course. They were kind of just turning down into the river. Kind of, he was navigating the current of the river and using the wind to move upstream. But the boat
So
lurches.
veering towards the side of the river.
Yeah.
Now. Okay.
Crocodiles.
Dangerously. So we have a second. So while
Or the
that's all-
crocodiles. Yes.
I'll speak and I'll say, well, I am very grateful to you for speaking up to defend my honor. I believe that we are all here for a reason, and we must cut out this foolish bickering of mortals and find the destination. I will tell you where we are going, but you must calm yourselves. And then I release the webbing because I have to before we wham the side of
No.
this. Assuming
A 2 points. One is that their movement is stopped. They can still fight, if they can reach each other and they happen to be in melee, so they can still fight.
Oh,
They'll
I
both
thought it was like, because that's how I used it in our prep session. So it's not that they can't move, it's they can't use their movement. Okay.
they can't move. They can still act. So you can actually cast a spell if somebody webs you.
Okay,
Right?
good to
But
know.
you can't move. It restricts movement. The other point is the webs stay until the effect wears off on the duration of the spell.
It doesn't have a duration.
It has the UD6.
Oh, it does.
Turns,
Last UD
right?
6 minutes.
Yeah.
And I can't dismiss it before then? Okay.
No.
Oops.
Yeah, so there are some side effects to magic, of course. It's powerful though, but for the moment the boat is lurching toward the shore, and anyone else want to act she says this, and I didn't mean to cut that short, but she gives this ultimatum somewhat of stop fighting. And did you make your thing there, Spike,
What thing?
for a new round for the initiative? Or no, you've
Oh.
acted already. They've acted. Who's left?
Yeah, we're technically in the last round still.
Yeah. So we're finishing the
Darren.
round.
Can I
Go ahead.
fight the rudder with the rudder so we don't go to our shore?
Yes, you can make a strength check now.
No, I knew it.
And Carly, you actually still get to act, right?
Well, I fell, but can I try with disadvantage to cast
do what?
something? To cast.
You have to be standing,
I fumble.
but you can get up and cast your spell. Go ahead
Okay.
if you don't move.
Oh,
Oh no, you fumble, so the boat sweeps into these shallows near the shore and goes going by, and there's big crocodiles, and a couple of them snap toward the boat. We'll get to that in a minute. Sorry, where were we?
I'm not strong. enough.
Light was gonna try to cast. I don't have to roll anything for that.
What are you casting?
Hold. I mean,
Oh.
just to cast since I'm on the.
Nope, you just make. You have to make an attribute check
Okay.
to successfully cast a spell.
Okay, wisdom.
Yep. And if you succeed, I think it's 1 to 4 creatures, right? Who are nearby, and they're both nearby.
Yeah, so I'll have to roll for them. Since I'm on the boat, do I still get affected by Poseidon with advantage?
In this, not in this case. You're on the Nile now. You're in the
Yeah.
Egyptian gods' terrain.
Okay, I thought that was far-fetched.
Yeah.
Success.
So cast a die 4. See how many.
Oh fuck, only one.
Now, who do you pick?
Um,
And what's your intent? I don't want to. You go ahead.
they're both terrible.
This is a fascinating turn of events.
I'm just trying to remember what's like. They're both bad right now.
They're both bad right now.
How is damn it.
You're on the spot.
How is the placing? Like they're right in front of each other?
Oh, they're swinging away at each other in this boat, and I forgot to make them roll for their dex check to see if they fall down.
No, I rolled and I succeeded.
Yeah, I didn't roll for Thallo.
Oh.
Can I just backpedal on that and hold and try again next round?
Yeah.
Okay,
Oh,
because I
wow.
don't want to like hold one there so the other one can like neither one of them are gonna stop. So I'll just put a pause on that.
But this webbing's everywhere suddenly. Now roll a stat check to see if you have that spell, Cat. Keep it memorized. And you've already casted it today or not? You haven't rested yet and recharged, right? So you're at disadvantage, Katrina, when you do your memorization
I
roll?
already rolled the check for it and I passed, so I still have it memorized. Next
Okay.
roll will be disadvantage.
All right, so is everybody gone this round?
I rolled and failed.
So you still can go, okay. Now
I
make a
really
dex.
don't want to get involved in this,
Okay.
but
Yeah.
kind of just fall over and stumble out of there a bit. I feel like it's not my battle.
Talk to Mother.
Yeah.
Good.
Next round, everybody make a dex check, initiative. There's
So
still
did Thalos succeed in not falling over?
no. He did fall over. Yeah, he slipped and stumbled. So
Failed again. Second
if
time.
you go so did anybody succeed? Wow, fail, fail, fail. Wismar, you're just going back and like shaking your head at these mortals growing up in an island in a dark cave is you haven't seen interaction, but the only one who can go first is Akalia, who's just like, what's happening?
I try. Are we? So is the boat like stuck somewhere now?
No,
Are we
it's lurching towards the shore. Next round, it's going to run aground on the
Well, can I
sandbar.
try making it not do that then?
Yeah, make another strength check. Yep. Try
Oh.
to turn it and fight the webbing in the gear that's kind of seized.
Can't she like try using ropes and stuff and
Failed
try doing it with Dex?
I know that's what I was saying. Like Dex, could I do something?
I thought she steered
Oh.
with the rudder.
There's sometimes, yeah, if you narrate something, you can change the situation.
Oh.
But you are in charge of the rudder, unfortunately, right? So it's a kind of a strength thing but you
Oh,
can't.
that's why I'm terrified. I would have to roll
You're like,
strength.
uh-oh. And Amon's like, oh no. And the
He's
boat's,
dead.
and the rest of you failed, correct?
Yeah.
So Thalos, he kind of with the webbing and the boat shaking and stuff, he stumbled down. So he gets up. He uses his movement, and you can do that. Like if you don't go anywhere, you can use up to a nearby movement to get up.
Like, wait, can he stand up even if he fell into the webs?
No,
Can I-
he gets up. He still can't move.
Can I yell out to Perseus for help? Like, what's he doing right now?
Right. So Perseus was in at the prow. So now Perseus will. I'll roll to see if he can act first. Hold on. Let me see. That's a good call because it's like, wait a minute.
Where did he go?
Oh no, his dexterity. Let me check.
Shit.
Let me check. Oh no, he doesn't.
Okay, well I try and then I fail and then I'm yelling out for help for him so that when his turn does come, he can maybe help me.
Arms on mute.
Yeah, he goes to the and hopefully next round you can turn, but it looks like if you fail next round you'll be run aground.
What?
But he
Okay.
can help you. That's coming.
Oh no.
Now
Okay.
he goes. Nobody's left who beat him, right?
Nobody did.
My rolls and at the end of next round my webs will disappear.
Oh, okay, got it.
Sorry,
that-
at the end of this round my webs will disappear.
So then it'll be a normal check to try to steer this boat away from the crocodiles who are snapping. And so, back to the boat. Let me think for a moment. It's now his turn, Thalo. And he gets up with his sword. So, and he screams real quickly, "Take that back, peasant!"
No.
And then he comes in cutting low and hard with an attack. Make a strength check.
Yes.
And you manage to evade him. You're both restrained kind of by the web, so there's no advantage disadvantage, right? It's equal. So he's and you guys can both see two vain men, right? They're like one refuses to and the other refuses to that, and they're gonna hack away at each other. So everyone can act now after the fact.
I succeeded to try for hold again, and I can hold up to 3 people. And I'm gonna hold them both. And I think they get to make a wisdom save. I don't know if that's
Yeah, so now you find yourselves compelled by magic to be held unless you can make your wisdom saves. Both Thalo and Spike.
I succeed.
Damn it, Spike. You're at 9.
No.
12, let me see a minute. Thallo might be held. Hold on, I gotta look.
Good.
He rolled a 12. I don't think that's. No, he's got 7 wisdom.
Well, a speech is coming along
This
with this.
guy has
so
been a jerk to me since the first time I met him. So
it's true. That's true at the wedding. Okay,
I
but
just want to
Light,
kill them.
Light steps up again and says, "Hold! Calamos clearly smiles upon this hour, the god of stupidity. You both are fighting, and now I have to extend resources by using a spell and healing, along with causing stress to the crew." Yesterday, my
Stressing
scared
out the
little,
crew.
like set follower.
But the spell didn't work on Spike.
I know, but I'm trying to use charisma to try and convince as well.
Angry.
Well, Spike, I know this is your call, Spike. The spell didn't work on you.
So this guy is held.
He is held.
Okay. I bring my axe to like his neck, and I say, "Call yourself a fool. Call yourself a fool. Call yourself a fool."
So petty.
He spits in your face.
Okay, I go at him. I go right at him. I don't care.
Can Light try and hold him? Like physically
Yay.
hold him?
I'm going to kill him. I'm
Nope.
going-
You swing. Go ahead. You swing, and he's held. So that's an automatic hit.
Okay, success.
Yeah.
Brutal. Brutal.
Okay.
How
so,
honored.
Roll damage.
Okay. 6. Oh, that's something.
Okay, one moment. Give me 1 second. Okay, how much damage do you do? And describe. Let me have a quick look. Okay, you get plus 3 die 4 on that, right?
Oh, right, yeah. Okay, so I do 11 damage. And I
All right.
go right for his back. I try and hit him in the back with my axe.
Okay, he's twisting. You're both twisting, and you come around and hit him hard. Now you hit him in his armor. Now, him being held, however, he can't decide to soak it. If you want to miss his armor, obviously, you'll have to strike somewhere else.
Oh, okay. Okay, then I'll go for...
He's not wearing his helmet at the moment.
Okay, I'll go for his head. Right for his
And-
head.
And what do you say? What is going on here? Everybody's just like in horror. Some of you were just transfixed.
I say, die like the fool you are.
And so you do total of 5 plus 5 plus 6, 11.
Yeah, 11.
And you clip him, and he just manages to turn a little bit. And what should have been a death blow is not quite.
Mm-hmm. Unfortunately.
Oui, oui.
Actually, let me think a minute. If I have to think for a minute, because that might be a DM call on a held creature. If somebody's held, they can't defend themselves. Okay, so he automatically hit. Okay, no, that's fair enough. He's not. Well, you strike him, and he's not killed. Side of his head is suddenly ruptured with blood, and coming out of his ear as you shear off one of his ears completely is gone. And he's hit hard and staggers sideways. Ugh.
Snap.
Anyone left to act this round?
I want to as loud as I can. Do you really want bloodshed on this boat?
Yes. Of this man, yes.
Try this, Bismarck.
And Spike is full of some spite.
I dare not
Listen,
challenge
okay.
Spike.
Anyone
This-
else?
This man reminds me of the people that I sacked Troy with.
Ah, and he probably he might have been an aristocrat on one of those 1,000 ships. Yeah,
Like I hate him. I hate him.
yeah. And it looks like he's about to die.
Good.
Okay, next round. Now, how long does that spell last? He gets to roll every round, right? See if he can break it.
Yeah.
Everyone rolled Dex. Now, you see Perseus says he was stunned for a couple rounds, but he shakes his head. But there's the ancient ritual of the combat, right? It's almost, there's a reluctance to step in between two combatants. And Perseus is he's stuck, and he's trying to he's trying to help from going into this nest of crocodiles. So Perseus is going to be, it's up to you guys, what I'm getting at. So to do what you will. Now, who passed?
I
So
passed.
Spike did
I
not.
failed.
I'm gonna try again, hold, and this time I'm rolling with disadvantage.
To see if you keep it. Did you
No,
roll last?
It's not,
yeah.
I don't have to roll to keep it. I'm trying to use it again on Spiky.
Okay. But I was going to ask, did you roll last time you used it? If you kept it? I think I
I don't
asked you
have to
that
roll
already.
for it to keep. You guys, you just get the wisdom, I think.
No. Every time you cast a spell, you have to make, once the results are resolved, you have to make a stat check to see if you keep that spell. So give me a quick roll, stat check.
Okay.
And if you fail, you can't cast that spell again until you rest.
Oh, I did do that. Yeah,
Okay.
I did do that. Okay, so I'm rolling with disadvantage. Hopefully,
You don't get, no, not a disadvantage. It's normal. When you get to memorize a spell at the end, it's a disadvantage.
Okay.
So just roll your
Normal.
stat, and now who are you gonna cast it on?
Oh my god, I fumbled.
Yes!
Herself. She
Oh.
cast it on herself.
Oh,
This
Was
is
it
a
a-
disaster.
it was a
Please do
nat
that.
crit too. Okay, give me a 100-sided roll.
Oh no!
Yeah, 'cause
Right.
Magic
you're not
fail.
on natural terrain. If you're favorable terrain, you would have not have to roll this, but you're in strange god's terrain, so you've invoked strange
Well,
magics.
I hope something terrible happens and Spiky dies of guilt.
It will never.
22.
Okay, 100-sided, you rolled 22. Help me out, what page is that on, Jax? I can't find it.
It's like right after the no further for players, I think. It's like not that far after that. It's
Okay, there it is. I got it.
Yeah, page 43.
Oh, wait, I don't. There it is. Okay. So you're in foreign gods territory and such and so forth. So,
Like barely in.
wow. Okay. Everybody's faces, you look around and to your horror, everybody's faces suddenly take this sort of twisted turn. They slant and kind of elongate out and kind of forms red snouts and dripping yellow fangs and black pitiless eyes like those of goats. And you're just like, "Whoa." This round you're tripping out like the Nile gods, and you remember that the Nile gods, they often have humans with the heads of animals. And it looks like all your shipmates have taken on these weird alligator heads and stuff. Okay, anyone else? Who's next?
I
Did
failed.
anyone else succeed?
Do I need to roll for some sort of panic thing?
Next round.
Oh, good.
Did anyone
I
else?
succeeded.
Oh, okay.
It
That's-
said, oh, I guess I'm not supposed to look. It says
That's-
perceive. So do our faces?
Yeah, don't look at
actually
this
like that,
table.
or Carly just thinks we do?
Yeah, that's
I know, I read-
that's all metagaming. No, don't read that stuff.
Because I was
This is what
confused.
she perceives. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I wanted to clarify that. Well, because it was like, wouldn't we all be going through traumatic, like something in our faces where like you see like our no, but no, okay, that's all.
No, no.
Oh, okay.
She suddenly recoils back and kind of, you see her
That's-
react. That something happened. She went to do something, and there could have been perhaps her hair all suddenly stood up, and there was this aura about her. That yeah. So you're not. There might have been something, Emma.
Right, Sand Shallow will, upon seeing her web, so her interference dissipates. She kind of in response to that, well, she's seen many duels. They're not that uncommon, so this is a bit of an unconventional one. It's a scheduled duel, but she recognizes there's only so much you can do. She's not about to step between two strangers' swords, so she steps back to safety on the side of the boat beside, what's her name? Acalia, I think is here. Yeah, beside Acalia, and just steps back and looks over to her and says, "Are such occurrences the norm during your travels?" The concerned look.
So I'm struggling to keep the rudder, whatever, from going not a thing. I just like shake my head. It's like, no.
Are you having to do strength checks to do that? Can I help you?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
this is your last chance to
Help
stop
I'm
them
not
being.
strong, but can I give
Neither
her
am
like
I.
is there assistance
Okay,
or something
if
for
you
this?
help her, I'll give her advantage on this roll, and if she fails, you guys are stuck on a sandbar with probably 4 to 8
Okay,
crocodiles.
so change that. I run up to you and go, "What can I do to help?"
Oh no!
Oh shit! I say.
And that was at advantage. You rolled a 20 too, as a crit.
Did-
So the
where's-
boat
what a
lurches.
Lame.
Even with advantage.
Okay. So, did anyone else succeed? Because if not, then I want to attack.
You did succeed though, right, Jax?
I
No, you
didn't
failed.
succeed in Dex, no.
No, okay, so he goes before you. Anyone else got to go yet? Okay, there's
failed.
blood streaming down his head, like his ears gone. And he's like, "You peasant."
Just idiot. You know, he deserves to go.
Deserves. I don't feel bad at all.
Well, and he continues to fight though. So give me a strength check as he comes in with a vicious, and he's an old grizzled warrior. His head hurts obviously, but he's still very active,
Succeed.
and he can't get a hit again. And his blood's splatting all over everything, and he's like cleaving left, right, center, with no. And if you had a shield, that would be a shield bash for you.
Yeah, unfortunately, I
Yeah.
do two-handed, so I get more damage.
Who
But
goes last? Anyone fail?
I failed.
Wismar fail.
I also failed.
So I'll let anyone act who wants to act first.
Okay, I'm going to attack him again.
So before anyone can say or act, you see spikes like, and what do you say? Die, MFer?
I mean,
We'll see who you call peasant. Maybe your riches have gotten you far in life, but they won't get you anywhere in the afterlife.
and I want to
Nice.
get him.
Wow. Okay, go ahead.
So I succeeded in my strength roll.
Ah,
So,
and roll damage.
okay. I do 18 damage.
All right, describe how you kill this upstart aristocrat.
I just want to like full on cleave in the middle of the like forehead. A classic murder.
And he's not wearing a helmet, so. Oh, you know what? He can soak that hit.
Oh, come on.
Oh.
Oh no, he already soaked it, and he has no shield
good.
on his shield. No, he can soak that hit.
Is he not? Is he still held though? Or I guess
No, the webs have left.
no. From hold person.
Oh, he has to make a check.
Yeah.
Ah, I see.
Come on.
Oh, he failed.
Yes!
So describe, and you cleave him right in the head, and you turn around, and he's held there, and he's like, "Oh, I'll see you in Hades."
Yeah, well,
The rest of you smash his head in,
yeah. Done.
and
And then I pick him up and throw him to the crocodiles.
Oh,
I run over there as I still have a turn, and I say, "Do not throw him."
I throw him.
okay, you can make it. You want to try to stop him from
Yeah, I
throwing
want
the
to
body?
stop him.
So you make a strength check, and he makes strength check.
Okay.
I don't think I'll beat him.
The charm.
Fuck, I failed. Wow.
We both failed.
We
No,
both
but he failed worst. So you throw the body overboard. Ugh.
And yeah, there you go. And then I say,
Good
now feast
Luther,
upon
feast on him.
now feast upon the fool. And then walk away.
Wizard's like, that's what I was hoping to do.
Oh.
Hey,
Oh.
you throw the body, and everyone's in shock or not. I'll give a moment for people to react, but you turn around and you see Perseus, and he looks at you, Spike, or looks at your mask, and he goes, "That was not a way to treat a warrior's body."
That was no warrior.
Oh, but you don't know. He was. He stood side by side with me at the gates of Thebes. When the Macedonians pressed our left flank, he held it. He was a mighty warrior. And he deserved more than that. And he turns his back on you.
I've
And
never
takes the
liked
rudder.
Perseus, so do not. Unbothered. Completely unbothered. Just like, well, you know.
Shit happens.
Yeah.
Mm.
Is
Sometimes
the
And
ears
the
brutally
crocodiles, you
murder
hear
an
the crocodiles are
NPC.
distracted, and you guys have an opportunity to push the boat off the sandbar as they're ripping the body apart. And you guys hear thunder cracking off in the distance. And anyone want to do anything?
I'll pick up the ear quickly.
An ear?
It's so
Yeah, 'cause
creepy.
he got his
Oh,
ear
his
cut
ear
off.
that was severed.
Chopped
Ah,
off.
right. It's there on the deck. Ah.
Ah, there it is.
There could be much use of this.
With this, I
Um,
don't hear things. so
Do we have like an hour of nothing, or is it just like a quick?
No, we have to get off the sandbar
Oh,
before
okay.
the crocodiles finish eating aloe.
Okay, I'll push us off the sandbar.
Right, you see Spike get off the boat, and this duel's over, right? Apparently these two wills clashed in the most violent manner. And despite everyone's effort, man, Spike was not going to let it go. We'll see about what happens with that, but it was a Greek tragedy. We'll call it for a moment,
Or
or not,
or a victory.
our victory. We'll see what happens with that, because there were some circumstances that actually, well, we'll see. We know what happened.
Yeah.
And so we're back to the pushing off the sandbar, and you push the boat back into the river, and you get freedom again, and you see the last red stains of Thallo as he's rended apart on the beach shore. And Perseus gives a look to Spike of complete, well, you can see hatred.
I just look right back.
Well, and he doesn't say anything. And Amon is like, well, that is worth a poem or a song, if I am sure.
Yeah.
We'll have time for poetry after we get this boat.
Oh,
Will push us off.
Muscles
thought we
and
already did.
blood.
yeah.
Oh,
and
did we?
as
Did I miss that? Sorry.
yes, you do heave too. Yes, and
She's
you're
trying to
pushed.
look like she did something about it. You, yes.
All right. I don't know how everyone's character didn't really know Thallo that well or anything, but
I knew him enough.
knew him enough. And people, as we move on, I'm gonna
Yes,
say another
maybe.
hour passes if we want, and we turn up the river. Unless I remember there was things to be said yet.
Okay, so if an hour passes, I'm going to attempt to fix my armor.
Okay.
I would like to fish.
One, but I get to re-roll ones as a warrior. And I rolled another one. Do I get to re-roll re-rolls? If I roll 2 ones?
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah.
Really struggling. Oh, and then a 6. Okay, so
Patched your armor up.
took a few tries, but we got there.
What time of day is it now about?
Wow, and Katrina, you thought you'd left a pirate ship, eh?
And then I said that in chat. I was like, Satchel is not so sure she didn't just escape a pirate ship. This isn't one. Oh. Not so certain.
Emma, say again.
What time of day is it?
It'd be now about 5 and getting late afternoon, and
Is it
turning up
starting
the
to get-
river. Oh, but no, wait, there was a discussion about you going the wrong way before this all broke out. And let's continue on that vein. Alman turns back and he's troubled too. He's deeply troubled, but he's like, he knows the way of the warriors and the challenges and the duels, and that's the way it went. So he nods at Spike, but he looks troubled. But so you speak we're going the wrong direction. Oh yeah, Jax, that was very well. That was wow. I bet your heart is racing a little bit.
I feel great.
I understand your character a little better now. Someone's got some anger issues.
Yes. I don't like vain people. That's like my main thing.
So look out, Sand Shallow.
Well, I guess as Admin says that to me, and I'm speaking across the boat because he's over there, I'm over here, so everyone can hear, and I say, yes, I will. She's a little more reserved after that display of savagery. It's one thing to duel, it's another to see a man try to behead someone when they're under a hold spell. So she's like, okay, I learned something here today. So she responds to Eamon and says, it seems to me we must set aside talks of different gods or goddesses or opinions, and we must come together for this in some way. If you truly seek to avert a tragedy, how will you do that with such tensions between you? There must be some sort of trust to be found. And in the spirit of trust to be found, I will let you know you must turn around and go to the island of Crete, which I'm guessing is about where you came from.
That is from our domains. Amun speaks up. Crete. We are fools.
How are we so wrong?
Are you certain
I have
of
no
this?
idea what the background of that is. He just told me where they are. They're on the island of Crete. We have a fair journey ahead of us, and if we keep going the way we're going, we will lengthen that journey. That is my trust placed in you all.
Yeah, definitely the wrong way if that's our goal. So.
Do you trust this woman?
I mean,
I do. I prefer people who are.
On the boat.
I prefer people
Sorry?
who are proud of their skills, not people who are proud of their appearance or their wealth.
She's definitely proud of her skills.
Yeah, so
Anyone object to this new course to Crete? We have no need to go to Luxor or Memphis then. Crete is a dangerous journey though. It would take us probably 3 days at least. The winds favor us. You hear Amun mutter. We're 1 day from Memphis, not even. But if Crete it is across the ocean, the Mediterranean. And if you know your geography a bit, it's quite a ways to the northwest. Your current location.
All of a sudden, I start shaking and trembling, and I call everyone over in agony. Light, Eamon, Spiky,
Sancho.
Sancho, Percy's, and I'm yelling this, asking for everyone to come over.
I come quickly.
Goes.
I gotta stay on the rudder.
Somebody, Perseus takes it.
Okay. I run over.
Okay, maybe another time.
Yeah, Perseus does in a grim mood. His companion has been slain and treated.
I take this ear and I throw it on the ground as hard as I can. I release the crab. I start whistling really loud. And the crab comes out glowing in lots of green light radiating, filling around my feet. And I fall down to my knees and I scream. I start yelling out the gods' names, Poseidon and your Zeus and your all these gods you speak of and you guys worship. You get on your knees and pray to the lords above and the lords beneath. You talk of these dark voids. You talk of these places we've never seen. The voices I hear within the caves. I can't handle this no more. I'm slowly decaying as a person as I watch you guys filthily brutal each other. I come out of the earth and all I see is bloodshed and madness, and you speak about your gods as if they're wonderful. All I see is violent anger and negative energy towards each other. You call each other friends and foes, and you fight the Trojan War you speak of, and yet you throw his body like it's meaningless into the water. And here I tell you, on the island, Spiky, I will stand by you, yet you slaughter him. And you sit there and write your filthy poems about the lords. Oh yeah, the lords, everybody, write the poems. Who reads these? Wipe the blood up off the deck. I'm sick of all of this. I'm ready to jump back in the water and hide in the caves. Who cares about this my mother's head? I will never bring her back to life if this is the cause and the case. If I need to do this, who am I? What is my purpose? I can't handle this no more. And I fall over, still yelling about the gods, saying they're worthless and useless, and that I don't even know my mother. Who was she? She kills me at a young age. I kill her at a young age, and she leaves me alone with her mind in a crab. I can't handle this no more. I can't handle this. I'm supposed to lay here as she glows her memory on this deck, and she has nothing to tell me. Mother, if you can hear me through all of this as we sit on the ocean, save me. Why shall it be my fault and my hassle and my journey to save you? And Percy's, he's here.
The crab reacts. The crab, in your mother's shrunken skull, which is about the size of an orange, right? It's small, or small baseball, hardball. the crab suddenly skitters over toward and looks at you real quickly, Wismar, and acknowledges, and you can see the crab is like gives a little twitter and a click, saying like, yeah, I agree. And it skitters sideways over to Katrina's character,
And you can just call her Shallow. That'll be easier.
Shallow, pardon me, and moves to her backpack and is pointing.
Whoa.
I
What's in
take
your bag?
advantage of its movement as I'm listening to him do these hysterics and standing there quite quiet and stern. And
Everybody is. That was an intense moment, by the way.
yeah, and I first, as he'll allow me, and maybe that's why I'm close to him, because he's curled up kind of on the ground, and she just sits behind him, like behind his curled up body, just quietly sits cross-legged, and she just like slowly, just like, you know, like a mother does with a kid, like she just kind of like just strokes his hair, just really lightly, just really, really gentle, really exactly like a mom would with a kid, trying to just calm that down. That's all that she does, and then watches as this crab goes up to her pack, but she doesn't really know what's happening there. That's what she does.
The crab goes into your pack. Now, anyone can act or do whatever they want, but everyone's kind of, and everyone is staring in awe and just, look,
I
I've not
turn
seen it
about
leave you
and
yet.
I pause from, and by the way, how does he react when I do that?
The
He
crab?
accepts that? No, Wismar.
I'm kind of in a state of complete. I'm in my own world almost. I can almost not recognize you're even behind me at this point.
Yeah, so she's gonna keep trying to do that because she's worked with healing with them, so she's basically trying to slow your nervous system down through that type of movement. So she just continues to do that. On the other hand, she pulls the pack around like she's assuming this is a familiar, and this is quite peculiar activity for a familiar. So she can't, curiosity gets the greater of her. Which of the items is in my pack? Are both of my items in my pack, Darren?
The new one is, for sure.
Okay, the other one, okay, great, then that's fine. Yeah, so I allow it to scurry into my pack. I just wait, I let this heavy silence hang there as this happens.
Anyone else want to do anything at any point? Not have to at all. I'm going to, as you see this crab scurry into this pack.
Oh, and last thing, I don't know exactly how you said like the integrating background thing goes. I'd like to give that a go. Do I see any souls, ghosts using those interchangeably? Do I see any souls on Wismar?
And everybody's pretty well nailed one already today, as far as I know. But again, you can do one too in a session if it works. But generally, it's one a session. Or no, you can use your ability up to your level per session to affect.
Okay, then yeah. Well, do I see any or sense any souls, any ghosts on Wismar?
That's a tough call at the moment because you're distracted by a clinking sound from your backpack. You need more time to do this ghost thing.
Okay.
And more prep and like symbols and stuff. And
hearing the clinking, I look into my backpack. Do I see the crab clinking on what I found on the island?
Yeah.
I slowly pull out this. If you want to post the picture, Darren, that would be great. So that I And in a
Oh, yeah.
voice a lot quieter a little than she normally is, she says, "Strange. How very strange." Wismar, Wismar, shakes him a little, continues to pet his hair. "Have you ever seen anything like this?" And I pull out, it's like this, he'll put a picture up, but it's like this, it looks like the same size and shape. It looks like an owl, but it's made out of metal, and metal very finely wrought. And it has just 2 empty sockets in the eye holes. That's about right, Darren, right?
Yeah, I posted a pic in Facebook.
So I pull that out and I just kind of set it in front of him and around everybody on the ground. You ever seen anything like this before? Have any of you seen something like this before?
No.
I do not recognize it. No.
Wismar, your mind is needed. Bring it back.
Hmm.
Who cares about these petty toys?
Toys. You've seen one before then.
I stay silent.
Now, the owl is associated with Artemis. But this strange device, which seems to be kind of a statue, a metallic statue of an owl, is quite still and inert. It's small. It's very small. It's smaller than a football. But it kind of clunk clunk, and it's made out of metals, silvers and bronze, some gold. Now, she said its large eyes appears to be empty sockets at their center.
Do I feel the same thing the first time I held it? I had that strange buzzing on my ears. I still have that?
Yes.
I take out on, I have a whim, almost more instinct. It feels right, whether it is or not. She takes off, she's got these large circular garnet matching her color scheme, and she slowly takes them off her ears, and while she's holding the owl and plunks them in the eye sockets.
Everyone else is watching this or are not. A strange device as this crab now sits back and goes back to you, Wismar, your crab, and hunkers down wherever the spot is most comfortable or natural. Likes to recline.
My hummingbird is gonna like be buzzing all over his familiar now, like poking at him and real curious. Nothing happens?
Well, I'm
I
just
look
waiting.
over to Light. Say, what does your god Poseidon have to say about this? As he makes your skin turn red, can he make my mother come back?
I cannot say what Poseidon will do in the future or what his powers.
Then don't dare bring his name up around me again.
For a while. If it is your wish.
I'm very ecstatic right now, and my character is kind of like in a state of complete. He's losing his mind, he's sweating, nervous. He's not going to say anything rational.
And that's how we begin the next stage of our journey, as our characters have gone through a dramatic duel in which one of our heroes died over pride, over anger. We're not sure. The gods are fickle, but somebody won. Also, we have a new direction, a new person on board, a 4-day journey across the open seas of the Mediterranean to this island of Crete, the mysterious island of Crete. Since the Minoan age has been ruins mostly, it's rumored to hold the labyrinth, and also where King Midas, of course, reigned at one point. There's other rumors about this strange island. It holds a volcano, and you've heard about this volcano where the Stygian witches hold their lair. And I'm talking through Katrina's character. As you guys spend the next 3 days traveling, and tempers simmer and things settle down, and the drama goes back to the reality of everybody just getting on and surviving and continuing with the quest despite what's happened. There are still hurt feelings, shall we say, and perhaps it could have went other ways, but sometimes it just comes down to whether a challenge and a victor. Most of you accept that, by the way. This was a fight, a duel to the death, and the better man may have won, but there were circumstances that were a little strange. So the days go by, and the storms and the weather changes and arcs as you guys go to the central part of the Mediterranean and sweep westwardly, and lo and behold, you see the vast mass of Crete appear out of the smog. And I'm kind of rolling this forward, and as true navigation and sailor skills pull through, you're all fully recovered. So what we're going to do is just have one session where everyone can speak their thoughts, declare what they're going to do, whether they're repairing armor. Now, over this time, you're going to be able to repair all your armor, get any spells you want back. You don't have to roll because you've been on the sea for 3 days. I would like everybody to make a 3 ration rolls at UD8. And if you're fishing, Wismar, things kind of return to normal. Like I said, in the age of steel, things get settled with blood sometimes.
Oh, whoops. Wrong guy there.
So wow, that was intense. The island looms ahead, and you see that there's still smoke and mist rising from it, from the volcanic center of its core. And you're looking for a proper place to go ashore until you can make an away team. I'm not sure if everyone's going to go. It's probably going to be just our core party who's going to go into up into the mountain to look for the lair of the Stygian witches, which is rumored to be on Mount. Let me have a quick look. I actually bring you guys to.
During these 4 days, is it possible that I try and make some arrows?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
okay.
Yeah. So every day you could roll die 6. If you roll 1 or 2, you fail, and any above that, you get 4 arrows.
Okay. So I get 12 arrows. So do I roll? Now my usage is D12 or?
Oh, I see. Yeah. Yes.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, and you can actually take some actions. If you want during the trek.
Sure. Yeah, I will. I'd like to do 2 things. One, of course, if anything happens with the owl when I place jewels in its eyes.
Ah, of course, I forgot to mention that.
Yeah, and the second thing will be trying to meditate on Wismar for a little while, see if I pick up any souls or ghosts hanging around him.
Yeah, no doubt. So you place the 2 gems in this thing's eyes, and the eyes kind of I don't know if you've seen old school cameras, how they focus and unfocus with the ocular lens as the eyes suddenly snap open and shut. And it gives out this weird tweet that doesn't sound quite natural. It kind of sounds like it's made from some kind of chunky instrument. And this instrument, the head pivots around full 360 degrees. The eyes blink and the thing stands upright. To everyone's amazement, whoever's watching, not everyone was, but you turn around as you hear the whistle, some of you, and you see that this bird thing is animated and launched up onto the ledge of the boat. And it's perching there. And,
I don't want to fly away if I can fly.
okay, make a, anyone else want to do anything?
I'd like to fish.
Okay, you're fishing while you, what? Looking at that? Anyone else nearby enough to see the creature?
Oh, if we're making this like in the future, like not right at that moment and whatnot, then I'll be doing it in private.
No, it's happening, and like this is one of those moments when anyone can step up and say, "Hey, I'm going to do something," or I'm going to just say, "Nope." You know what I'm saying?
Sorry, this is her familiar right now?
No, well, you're not sure. It's this metallic. I
You
showed a
don't know.
picture
I
on
sat
Facebook.
down. Wismar's familiar went into my pack and started poking at this thing, and I pulled it out of my pack and stuck a couple gems in it, and then it suddenly animated. That's all
Well,
you know.
yeah, if Light's still there, he's still watching.
Yeah. And I asked, has anyone seen something like this? And Wismar was non-committal and vague, and then I put the gems in. That's all that's happened.
I think it takes a fair amount of concentration for Psyche to be making something a little small, so he's not paying attention. He's working on his arrows just in the corner.
And this thing whistles. It's on the gunwale of the ship, and it's like,
Can I grab it?
make a dex check.
Failure.
And it flutters up onto the masthead out of reach, and Perseus is standing forward.
Grab
He's like,
that.
No, he's shaking his head. What? You don't? And he looks back. Yes, I know. And he's like talking to the bird.
But to me, it just sounds like
Exactly.
you can understand it. What is it saying?
Can't you?
No. I hear sort of like bird noises.
No,
What do you hear? What is it saying?
it speaks to me. It says it says lots of things. He laughs and the thing whistles more. He knows Pegasus. And his face lightens up. And I'm not sure if any of you have heard of this name or this word, Pegasus. He knows Pegasus.
Lightwood.
Didn't Ammon tell us about Pegasus in one of his stories?
Either
Yes.
and Perseus, one of them was talking about him.
Yep.
Okay, well, from that, I mean, I'm not really listening, but I guess I would remember.
He goes, he lives. Pegasus lives. He's held by the Dark One. And he listens some more. And he knows this island is strange to him and dangerous. There are powers here. He speaks in riddles and weird talk. You don't understand? He looks back at you.
No.
No. Anyone else?
No.
Curious. It seems we are certainly fated to meet.
We are here, though, it appears. We must leave the ship and go on foot.
Oh, I see. For the other thing I'll do while we're traveling is that, try and get a better feel for, do I see any souls or ghosts on Wismar?
Mm.
And as a last thing, and then I'm done, does it ring any bells to me? It's twice now that he, in his rants, has given tidbits of information, and twice he's mentioned these red-skinned people. Do I have any idea what he's talking about?
Ah. Is that a Kalia, or is that
Yeah,
Right.
one thing that was I failed to mention earlier is light skin is like red, like blood red.
Oh, okay, so he's referencing your people. He's referencing a particular race. Okay.
mhm.
Well, you're not sure.
You can see that that's the assumption that I'd be making then. Okay.
Yeah, but it's a weird red. It's no race you've seen. Deep
Oh,
blood
she's
moon
like a
red.
weird red. Like it's not a color on a human I've seen before.
No, it's weird red. Like, whoa. It's almost like she's painted red.
Oh wow. Okay, she's like red.
Hmm.
Like
I'll
a
have to ask her
tomato.
about that. And what about my delving into Wismar there? What do I sense?
Wow, Ismar, what would she sense? That's might be a story for a background upgrade. And by the way, everyone's done one. This session is very well.
I don't think I have.
Oh,
I don't think so.
well, I was going to say we're about to begin the next session. At this point, I'm going to be around next Sunday. We're about to enter the island of the witches, and it's actually a significant part now. It's going to take 2 or 3 hours. So at this point, we're wrapping the session down. Before we go onto the island, there are opportunities to say things now. So Carly, if you wish to get that point, and it's putting you on the spot a bit. Everyone else has shared some scary stuff, perhaps in some ways, about their past, and we've had quite a session, I must say. Holy, intense.
I can prompt her to that by like I asked out of character about the red skin. I can easily prompt something out of her with that in character. I'm curious for Buzz's response on Wismar. Sorry, I really want that answer. I wanted to know.
It's up to him. He can answer or leave it to next session. It's his call. But and Carly
she's
as
asking,
well.
what exactly are you?
She doesn't ask him anything. It's one of my kind of like background things, if you will, because I'm particularly attuned to the void, say the realm of ghosts and souls before the Underdark, which is the realm Hecate has some power over ghosts and souls. So she basically without your permission, just from afar, she kind of tunes into that and looks at you, and she's trying to see if she sees any souls or ghosts. So if there are extra souls on you, or if they're ghosts, in the same way on Spike, he had ghosts haunting him, whether you want to take that as literal or metaphorical. Same idea. She's looking for those on you.
Yeah, I can tell you some stuff. So softly, we'll start speaking. And sorry,
Okay.
when I was young, my mother told me I had to sever her head. I was only 6 when I had to commit this act. I could barely speak. I could understand her, and no one since that day has spoken the language that she would speak to me. I can't replicate what she would say, nor do I know how to speak her language. I've barely seen her. It was dark in the caves. The only time the light turned on is when she started transferring her memory into the crab. That was my only light, and it would only glow when she was around. But when the crab blew, she would remain dark. And as she left, she would have a radiant glow as she disappeared into the caves, deep in the oceans. Sometimes she would come back and talk about stories of violence, and stories of peace. And she warned me that one day, if she begins to lose her mind and either tries to kill me or the crab or herself, I must take her life. And that day had come. And it wasn't until I severed my mother's head that I had these dreams. And I could hear the voices coming deep, deep from the earth. The sounds, the violent screams, the smoke, the heat, even feelings of cold, as if there was wind from high up in the mountains. And all of this is what caused me to leave the cave. And it's been my sole purpose since I left the cave to bring my mother back to life, so I could see her true appearance, for the severed head that has been shrunken. That I know that's not what her face would look like.
That was such a creepy line at the end.
And as the camera pans away, does anyone
Sorry,
wanna...
do I see the soul in the crab or in the head?
Probably the head. You might see it in the eyes.
Did you say something, Buzz?
No,
Oh, okay, I wasn't sure if it just didn't come through.
no. You see the soul within the head and the crab. The crab lives inside the head, and the eyes glow green.
Thank you. Then at some point, in our travels, I'll go to light and I'll say, I can't help but have a great curiosity. Excuse my forwardness. I hope this is not rude, but I have never seen skin the hue that you have.
No, that does not surprise me.
Tell
Forgive
me of
me.
yourself.
Forgive me if I am rash or blunt, but my thoughts still linger on the events of today. I carry within me, I believe, the wrath of Poseidon. For not long ago, when we were upon an island, you see my two companions here. The two followers of Set are always close by. They found me on the island or we found them. Upon using my faith to cast, I stepped into the ocean and absorbed blood of humans through my skin. And I believe it is the wrath of Poseidon, for my past is not without blood. In fact, I'm not sure what you think of me now, but you will likely think less of me after this story, for I was once in the company of pirates. Likely not unlike the ones that you yourself found yourself with. And clerics often joined boats to keep them safe in the waters and stay on the good side of Poseidon or other gods of the ocean to keep voyages safe. Although my voyage was never safe for others, as I can assume. I was a healer. My healing skills were quite good. And there were times when I was ordered to heal people for the extent of their suffering, so that they may suffer further until next time, until they were killed. And there was a time when we stopped by a temple. It was a temple of Poseidon. And as I went inside, knowing all that I have done, I began to question my actions, and I prayed. And I stayed there for a long time until I was forced to leave by my company. And not before the temple itself was brought to ruin and ransacked and abused, and sacrifices were made in the most horrific way that perhaps even Poseidon, one of the most wrathful and testy gods, if you will, would frown upon. I have a path of redemption to follow for my sins, and steps have been made to me and demands that will get me back on the side with my God. And today's events reminded me of what I once did with my healing spells, as it was my hold spell that kept Thalos of Agros defenseless. And it reminds me of my cruel duties of the past. Healer, they call me, but I've seen many violences and extended much suffering. I've questioned my faith before, and I look to Spiky, and it is within my nature to want to help him. And although Poseidon may not be with us now, or we may not be in favor, I am with him, even though Poseidon is not. And I am with Wismar, as I am with you, and I am on this boat, accompanying every person who is here. Even if my God did not smile upon us today.
And Alman has been writing furiously in his scrolls again.
She nods.
Observing everybody.
She nods slowly. She has a very serious face. She puts a hand on your shoulder and gives you that intense eye contact like she's always got going on. And she says, "The gods love us for our faults, else there would be nothing to improve within us.
And we love the gods for theirs.
Oh, I believe that the ends justify the means, Light. Whatever you have done in your past, whoever you have been in your past, it has brought you here into a place of service of your God. Have no regrets."
I wonder, Six Fingers, if we return to the island that we found you on, if I would find any of those faces left behind familiar.
Perhaps. Perhaps. Does it matter? Does it matter to who you are now?
No.
Then let those faces die. She'll
Oh, I
walk
would.
off. We are meant to meet. The ends justify the means, and I feel we are coming to some end together.
Indeed, we were brought here for a purpose.
Shall we walk together? And she puts out her hand to like clasp if you'll take it.
He nods
Whatever
sternly.
our gods bring us.
He nods sternly and returns a favor.
A third hand grasps yours. It's Perseus.
Oh, it's Perseus, buddy.
I too vow. Anyone else? And he looks expectantly at the others. The past is the past. The future awaits. The gods are against us. So be it. Stygian witches are up there on that volcano. Are you with me? I go forth. Some will have to stay and watch the boat. Amun, my friend, I see you are there. And he looks up. You understand what that bird says, do you? The bird will stay here with Amun. I go forth. I will give a prayer to my friend Thalo. Yes, he was arrogant and may deserve what came to him. He looks at Spike.
And in your own words, we leave the past where it is.
Indeed.
And I
it's-
purposely look to Spike at that point, see if he'll throw his hand down on that, because I've given him an opening with Perseus.
He thinks about it, and then he does put his hand with everyone else's, and he says, "The past, sometimes we must forget it, but the most important thing is that it helps to shape that we don't make the same mistakes."
You're
I mean,
here.
When you guys were all talking, I like slid in there with my hand too. You didn't notice.
Slipped it on top.
Oh, this
Didn't notice
lady.
it. Oh, I'm like
No
right
problem.
there.
Emma, and pardon me, did you have anything you want to close with? I'll give you a chance if you wish. We're wrapping the session now. That was an intense session, everyone. Very cool. Well done, Jax.
Does
You
Wismar
angry man.
join
That was
us?
great.
Oh yeah.
Oh, and the way that tied in, like
Oh, yeah.
Carly's story, which she added in with hers at the end, like how hard
Yeah.
of a blow that was for her because of her past. Oh,
Mhm.
I don't like disrespect.
No, indeed, and yeah, and it's
Really?
you gave him a chance though, and then he spat in your face.
And then he spat in my face, so I,
Yeah.
He
Did it,
doomed himself there, gotta
yeah.
say.
He
Sealed
called-
his own fate.
Yeah.
was
and
spit.
indeed, and we learned a lot about everybody's characters and the fate of the gods intervening. Been heavy this game. So finally, and I had plans for this game to take a couple more sessions. That's cool. You guys are all veteran players and very good, and the stories and characters are wonderful. And so I have it planned. It'll take 1 or 2 more sessions. You're going to be confronting the Stygian witches and then finding out the means to kill the Titan, the Kraken. One of the last Titans, by the way. Remember back in the Age of Wonder, the Titans and gods fought a war and the Titans lost. That's why they were all in bondage and stuff. So, very much fun, very intense. Some moments there I was just like, whoa. I was watching things just transpire. It was very cool. Some very good speeches, and everybody does get that. As far as I'm concerned, I think everybody did attain that background qualification. So if you're 3rd level, you're a third of the way through. And if you're 2nd level, you're half the way. So in other words, Katrina, if next session you share again, and that means you'll go up to level 3.
Sweet.
And the rest of you will probably take another session beyond that. We'll see. At this point, you're all veteran players. 3rd level in this game is you're pretty tough, but it does go way beyond. And if we're having a whole lot of fun, it could keep going. The setting's cool and the characters, wow, getting very colorful.
Yeah, thanks everyone. I really enjoyed myself. Thought that was
Yeah.
a lot of fun.
Yeah, thanks for
Yeah.
joining. Your character is a really interesting addition.
Thanks. I'm glad I got to join, especially since you already had 4 people. I appreciate it.
It was a fun addition to the group. I think
She
we
comes
needed
out a
somebody
little
who
strong,
was.
don't she?
We needed someone who was a little more, lighthearted or whatever.